Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Hey, welcome everyone to the latest edition of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Along with G. Bush and Tyvis Powell, I'm Adam the Bull. We got Anthony and Mike on the other side of the glass, and a lot to get to today. Obviously, plenty of Browns talk. Just when we started to believe in the Guardians again, they blow a game yesterday.
Not so fast, my friend. I'm the Lee Corso voice on you.
Yeah.
You and Jay was hype.
And the Mariners and Rangers both won yesterday, so we'll hit on that later in the show. Jerry Jeudy, I don't know if you guys saw this yet. He made a comment. I don't know. Bulletin board material.
Is he talking about you or me or anybody else? Because we was on him tough.
I know. No, he was not.
Okay,
no, he talked about the Ravens. We'll get into what he had to say there.
He specifically said G. Bush.
No, I thought they go after Bull. They'll say
Which I love. I love that.
After Bull. I don't know.
I love it.
You, Juan Thornhill, DeJuan Jones.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
It means I matter, right? If they're talking about me, I matter. I like it. So keep going after me. And Fence Riders, of course, which we do every Thursday here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. What's going on with you guys?
I see Tyvis has,
Get back to the hat.
I did this for G. Bush.
He dipped
It's
back.
a big day Saturday
yeah.
for, the Bobcats.
That's true. You should have worn your Ohio University hat today.
Nah, man, I had to get this. I had to get this ivory African Gold Coast Cavaliers hat on today. G. Bush, a.k.a. the Mad Hatters in the building. So, they didn't, our coach for OU, shout out to the Bobcats. I don't know, Tyvis. He shouldn't have. He said he don't know who Caleb Downs is.
He said that?
Yeah, he was like, Caleb Downs in that defense. He's like, I don't know who that is. Who's Caleb Downs?
Who said that?
That's what our coach said, dog. I said,
Really?
I'm sure on Saturday he'll figure it out.
Oh, we was trying to fly under the radar. We the Bobcats trying to come in there and sneak. You need them to sleepwalk through the whole first half.
Well, they wasn't going to do that. They just beat West Virginia.
I know.
They're not about to come in there and they know what time it is.
Yeah.
This should be a respectable score. I wonder what the line is. Isn't it like 31.5 or something like that?
Yeah, listen. I really want to put that OU gonna cover, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I just
Can't
can't
get yourself to pull the
I
trigger.
can't do it right now. I've been trying to get my savings account together, and OU, you can't have you dipping in my savings. I can't do it, boo.
Can't talk you into it, huh?
Yeah.
Not even 31.
Take what you got in your savings account, go to the casino and put it on red.
That's what you're advising him? That's pretty bad advice from a friend.
Now, I
Double it up.
Now,
double it up.
This is retribution. This is why every time I see your wife, every time I see your wife, I'll be telling her, hey, when we go get that, when we get that second wedding going.
What? I forgot. Put it on black.
Look, right. See? Now, my wife at home changing all the debit card codes right now. I changed it.
Speaking of the second wedding, my mother-in-law was down last weekend because my wife's friend got married.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So,
congratulations, wife's friend.
Yes, Mackenzie.
What's her name?
Mackenzie and Jacob Green. Shout out to them.
Congratulations.
But anyways, my mother-in-law was down there, so they was in the spirit of weddings and all those things. So my mother-in-law sat at my countertop and did a list of people that would come to the wedding if me and my wife was to have one.
Oh no, they get listen.
Got the paper written.
Wait,
out
now explain to me, refresh my memory. Why is it that you'd have a second wedding? Was it not?
I never had a first wedding.
Oh, you didn't have. You just went to the.
We went to the courthouse. COVID.
Oh, there's been my brother had one at the courtyard. My best friend JT and Laura, who I went and saw down at OU, they had it at the courtyard. So COVID not only gave everybody 6 years, but it destroyed a lot of weddings.
So your mother-in-law is planning this wedding already.
Yeah, but
does your wife want to do it?
Oh yeah.
What G. Bush talked to?
No, what? She hadn't thought about it before G. Bush talked to her?
I don't know, but G. Bush pushed it a little bit. I can't believe him.
We went to Dustin's wedding.
Yeah, right.
Dustin had a tremendous
This
open
is why
bar.
I don't
Yes.
go to weddings. Right here.
And tremendous open bar, and I have a designated driver, so they was just bringing all the drinks around, and
Yeah.
me and Tyvis's wife was sitting there just chatting with Mike Doss and his wife, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, we started talking about weddings and renewing your vows because you were up there, you was the officiant,
Yeah.
up there. I
Right.
said, Bull would do it, and then we got all we got it all in details about
Bull ain't
flowers.
doing that because it ain't happening.
I saw her on her two daughters being the bridesmaids, and
Yeah.
being the flower girls. They could have dresses and everything.
Yeah.
She was like, "That's so beautiful." And then Tyvis was over there like this.
That would be cute to have the girls as flower girls.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be cute. And we saved all that money that we spent on that wedding and put it
Well,
towards
you know what?
something different.
What if your in-laws paid for it?
Ain't paying
Say
for
what?
it. Let's just say I don't think my in-laws are rich.
He got a pension now.
I mean, his mother-in-law wants it so bad, maybe she'll pay for it.
Crazy man. Listen. They like. Oh,
I just don't understand what's the big deal. Like, what? Like after this would be like a 10-year thing. So that's
Yeah.
me and my wife will hit year 5,
Yeah.
October 30th.
Right.
So that's 5 years from now.
Right.
What would be the point? Like, we're married for 10 years.
I mean,
They
you know,
just
if your
see
wife,
that.
it's up to you. To me, if your wife,
If your
really-
wife wants it, you got to.
if she
let
will
her do
really,
it.
if it would mean something,
you know what? There's a lot of things in life that people want.
Yes.
However, we don't always get the things that we want. You know?
Okay.
Ty, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would the entire UCSS crew get the invite?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, just making sure.
And I would, not that you're in.
I don't.
Not
I
that
don't. I don't. This is gonna come off as crazy.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of friends.
Really?
I don't.
That's surprising.
Well, I'm not really a big. I'm not. I do it. We talk for a living. So
Yeah.
like once I'm not on the show, like it's not like I do a lot of talking. So like,
All right.
I'm very bad at like hitting people up and being like, "What's up? What's going on in your
Okay.
life?" Well, I need to be better at it, but like,
Yeah.
Hey, it's one of them things. Black people's like that a little bit sometimes. Like I feel bad that I don't. Well, I don't answer.
Yeah.
Y'all,
you don't.
I gotta. You know what I'm saying? But I will send you crazy.
G, you've been better this year.
I've been better.
You've been better this
and
year.
I've been better at sending funny memes. I've sent funny memes.
What about the fence rider questions?
I'm getting better at that. I have mine early.
He was
better.
not last this time. He was
I was
not last.
early, so I've been working.
I would not that you're obligated to ask, and it's a lot of work. But I would come out of, because I'm kind of retired from doing weddings after Dustin's. But I would if your wife wanted me to do it, I don't know that she would.
You would
but if she wanted me
do
to,
it.
I would do it for you.
I'm gonna talk to her because
Yeah.
we've been already
What you
planning
mean?
the flower
You gonna
arrangements.
talk to her?
The flower arrangements.
No, what you gonna do is you gonna stay far away.
I got a great photographer for you too.
We
No,
looking at venues, the
Yeah.
plating, and everything. Tyvis,
I feel like you could just take that money and like.
Yeah. No,
do
you're
other-
right.
You could do so
You're
many
right.
other things.
That's
with
fair.
That. Like
That
if
is a
this
fair.
was like the first time we was like
different
if
story.
COVID never happened and
Yeah.
we was talking about this, that's different. But like
right.
That's
now
why
that
we
you've been
need
in
a
it,
reality
it's
show.
All right, before we get to the first topic of the day, guys, I just want to mention, of course, that today is the 24th anniversary. I don't even like to say anniversary, so I feel like anniversaries are a good thing, and obviously this is not, but it is 9/11.
Wow.
It's
It's 24 years.
24 years. Guys like Mike and Anthony and Tyvis were like little kids.
I remember
second
exactly
grade.
where I was.
Second grade in Miss
Isn't that so weird?
Second grade, Warrensville, Westwood, Miss Randall's class.
Second grade, you were in what grade, Mike?
I was in Miss Merker's third grade class.
And
we got
Anthony was even
evacuated
younger than
across to the fire department. Yeah, Anthony was in preschool.
I was leaving the dorms to go to English class.
Yeah.
Dang,
G.
boy.
Bush kind of old on
Yeah,
the low.
you is,
I-
man.
Yeah, like, come on. Like, this is like, I was.
You OG status. You
Yeah.
ain't even unk no more. You OG.
Yeah, you told us old head is coming up.
I had just finished my third season as the play-by-play voice of the Batavia Muck Dogs.
Bro,
And
you had a W-2. That is,
yeah. And my roommate, shout out to John Meyer, still a friend. John and I were roommates in Batavia, New York at the time. And he comes into my room and wakes me up. And this is what he says. He goes, "The Cubs are not playing tonight." That's the first thing he said to me. The Cubs are not playing tonight.
He's like, is it raining?
I'm like, what's going on? And then I don't think I moved from the TV for like 4 days.
They called us to the football stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
And then I remember the first time I went out, like you were on a college campus, so maybe it was different, but I remember like I sat by my TV for 3 days because I couldn't believe what was going on. And then I remember going to the supermarket like 3 or 4 days later, and it was like everybody was a zombie.
Oh yeah.
It was so weird.
It was
never been anything like it in my lifetime. If you were a little kid, you really can't understand what the same. I don't know. It was so crazy.
There definitely was a lot of watching.
Obviously, I remember I was for hours trying to get in touch with my family in New York, and fortunately, nobody in my family was at the World Trade Center. My brother-in-law at the time was working there and just happened to not be working that day. But anyway, it was obviously a very sad day, and we plow through as we always do. All right, let's get to some sports on a much cheerier note. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, we have Zac Jackson coming up in 20 minutes. We're going to get 2 topics in before Zac. The first one's brought to us by 5 Hour Transfusion. It's time to fuel up and turn up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. The grape ginger and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the beverage cart. Now you can amp up for fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA other than the Masters. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. This does exclude the Masters. The event ends on October 31st. All right, guys, Quinshon Judkins met with the NFL League office yesterday, and if you want to take these tag boards, we will show you the exact reports from Ian Rappaport. Ian said that Judkins met with the NFL office and then will practice Thursday, tomorrow being Thursday today, and Friday tomorrow to determine his availability.
Could you make that a little more confusing?
I know, I really screwed that one up. But basically, he met with them yesterday. He's practicing today and Friday, and then they'll determine his availability. We understand the NFL operates on their own timelines. They understand that they are in control. They have all the leverage.
It's ridiculous.
But you think this is taking way too long? Is the NFL doing Judkins dirty here?
I don't know why. Well, I don't know. I don't care about him. I care about the team. I mean, you know. It's ridiculous that they waited. Like, why? First of all, they could have interviewed him before he even signed his contract. Mm-hmm. But once that happened, at the very least, why did you interview him Tuesday on the off day? It was just silly. It just seems to be. I can't think of a legitimate reason why they had to do it during a practice day.
So have you ever been like with your parents or something, and they say, you know, you did something right? And then your mom, she come home and she'd be looking at you and say, hey, man, I heard, you know, you did this. And I was like, all right, so what's the punishment? She was like, you know, we'll talk to you when your dad gets home. Bro, what's wrong? You don't have the same rights and powers as my father? You could have punished me now and got it over with. But was you trying to get double jeopardy? That's against the law in this country. And so it's a deterrent. They do it on purpose because they want you to be fearful. The indefinite suspension, Tyvis, is right around. And guess what? They have no recourse. No one can stop them. They have gotten all the powers. They do this because they can.
My thing is, if this whole process is played out this whole time, they should know the answer already. I don't know. I don't think you need to bring them in to talk to them about it. That's something that you could.
Well, you should have talked to him at some point. I mean, he gets to give his side of the story.
I agree with that. I mean,
but like, why wait till now?
I don't have a good reason for you either. This should have been something like at the moment he signed. Like, that should have been all right.
At the very latest, right, yeah.
Like, he didn't play last week. Maybe you watching the game Sunday, you have Monday and Tuesday to get it done. So, I don't know. Is it that, in the grand scheme of things, is it that big of a deal?
Probably not, like, but it's just.
That's why,
if you're hoping he can play this week, though, Tyvis, that, like, he hasn't practiced much, I wouldn't mind him getting that extra day of practice.
He'll get today. Yeah. Okay, so him having an extra day of practice, was they going to get him 2 more reps in the game?
Does that matter?
No.
Okay, then I guess I don't care.
Unless them 2 reps is him breaking a long run.
You think he can play this week? You think he's like you don't know specifically with him what kind of shape he's in.
I don't know what shape he's in. But
in general,
it depends on how many. Like, what do you mean play? Like, what are you talking about? Can he be a 15 carry back? No. But he can get there 6-8 carries. I think he gets 6-8 carries for sure.
Right. I mean, how many handoff patterns do you got? There is a duo. There's a zone. There's a stretch. Off tackle me.
They say running backs is kind of easy to.
So then why couldn't he do 15? Just stamina wise?
Yeah,
maybe?
I don't think he got the win for him.
Okay.
Listen.
I think after the first of all, it's his first game, so his adrenaline is gonna be.
Right.
So he gonna get that first carry and he gonna be winded because he ain't gonna be able to calm down.
Right.
I think that plays a part into it, but I don't think he can handle it. I mean, if they give him 15, I think that's a lot for a first game back. Plus, overprotective they are with a guy that they did it with Nick Chubb. They certainly doing it with him. So
The syndicate is alive and well, man. If you've watched the X-Files, man, you know.
I never watched the
I've never watched the X-Files.
Hey, man,
either.
Roger Goodell is a cigarette-smoking man. Like, if you haven't seen it, you understand the reference, man. He just, like, he might be a vampire and be timeless. Like, Roger Goodell is trying to go back in time with a time machine and suspend people for doing other things. Like, he's trying to get everything out the game. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go back and get T.O. He was doing crunches.
OJ?
We suspended OJ prior to the Broncos. Like, they got that time cop. This is one of the greatest schemes of all time if you get it. But they do what they want to. Listen, they told a federal judge, hey, listen, I know you gave Deshaun 6, 11.
Hey, no good.
G. Bush, you know who is the eventual arbitrator/ruler on this suspension, right?
Yeah.
If it comes down to it, Sue L. Robinson, a name that I hope that we never have to discuss on this show again, will be the ultimate determinator.
Yeah.
On what?
The league's punishment if it goes to
But
appeal.
she was the one that got overruled on
she gonna get
Deshaun. What are you
overruled
talking
anyway.
about?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It goes to that same process.
Yeah,
Was she first or second? Am I getting them backwards?
No, she was first, and then she
she's
got
supposed to-
overruled
then
by the
then
league.
she's the one that goes first, then the league can overturn it.
Yeah.
Same
So-
process that Deshaun went through.
You know, they got, Roger Goodell be back there like Geppetto and just moving people around.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you're going to get. So basically what he's doing is, hey, you got to come up here and you got to prove to me why you should be playing. And by the way, since Mike Florio came out with the whole dossier, this is funny. Mike Florio says, hey, they didn't have meetings talk about with the Cleveland Browns. Like, listen, y'all doing too much. Y'all gave that man that contract at $230.
I still want to know why
They
nothing came with that.
They gave you that $230. Now you guys are on probation. You're on probation. You be signing dudes that could potentially get in trouble. Like, so they be like, nah, everybody y'all got. I'm surprised Isaiah Bond got to play. I was surprised when he was on the field. That must have slipped through the cracks. But Judkins, they've been talking about for a while. They you know how they play the game. They gonna get him.
You think he's
Why
gonna?
would they get him? They didn't get Isaiah Bond.
Well, he still might get suspended. No, isn't he?
still could
Is
come-
there
Devin
still an
Bush
investigation?
still out there balling.
Wait till that court date.
Who's still out there?
Devin Bush.
Oh yeah.
They look when you say.
So why did Rasheed Rice get suspended?
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice got suspended.
Well, it's in Devin Bush. He got a court date, don't he?
yeah.
Yeah, they wait. They trying
They
to
take forever on these things. But Judkins, even if he gets suspended, I don't think it's going to happen before this weekend. So I think he's going to be able to play this
I'd
weekend.
rather it be this weekend. If
And
they
just get it out of the way, right?
I would
Yeah.
say they got him in preseason. He's suspended for 3
Get out the
preseason
way.
games.
Get out the way.
Move. What do you know about that? Did you listen to Move? Get out the way.
That was in
Ludicrous,
Yeah.
wasn't that in
Fast and Furious.
where they had at the end of the
White Men Can't Jump? No.
No. Are you insane? That's
Are you
all
crazy?
That's all.
It
they
must have been
came-
in some other movie I watched.
Move. I said, what is
Move.
where they had
Get out
Gilly
the
the
way.
kid at the end
Get out the
twerking.
way.
it? Was that Gilly?
It had to be in another movie. We got to look it up because I would. Where else would I have heard that?
Maybe a closet.
Did you see
I
Too
don't
Fast,
listen-
Too Furious?
I don't listen to, with almost no exceptions, I listen to no music out of this in this century.
All right, we got another Browns
So.
topic before we bring in Zac Jackson. Let's get to that
Yeah.
after a quick word from FanDuel. The NFL season is here, guys. FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. Bull, you alerted me to this morning. I actually missed this yesterday
Yeah.
from the Browns press conferences on Wednesday.
Yeah, this is
Jerry
crazy, guys.
Jeudy.
You might not have seen this.
Yeah, if you missed it,
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy was going through and throughout his questions was asked about the challenges he thinks the Ravens secondary, which is filled with big names, Jair Alexander, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, what kind of challenges they pose, and he gave a pretty brief answer. This is the question and answer from Jerry Jeudy yesterday.
Jerry, Baltimore secondary, a lot of notable names back there. Just what are the challenges that presents to you guys as receiving?
No challenges.
Bull,
So
your
if
thoughts.
you couldn't hear the question, it was Daniel Iafusi. Did I pronounce his name correctly?
Oyefusi.
Oyefusi.
Okay.
Daniel asked him was talking about the Ravens secondary and said, what are the challenges they present to you guys? And his answer was, they don't present any challenges.
No challenge.
No challenge. Thank you.
What's the problem?
I don't. That's bulletin board material. Are you worried about that?
No. No.
You were looking at me like I'm crazy.
No. What are you supposed to say?
Well,
oh,
wait a second,
yeah, we're
Tyvis.
going to go out there and get shut
Tyvis,
down?
We talk about it when guys say bulletin board material. It's conversation, no?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, like,
I'm not saying you have to kill him. I'm just saying
like he hadn't. I mean, as a DB,
yeah.
I would expect him to say something like that. It wasn't like he went on with it. He just said no challenge and like kind of moved on.
Well, but
I don't see no challenge.
You know, Jamar Chase, who's no stranger to trash talk, asked about Denzel Ward. He didn't go no challenge. He said, yeah, he's the toughest cover.
He must don't feel that way.
Okay. So you're not worried about this at all.
Way.
You don't think it's a big deal.
I mean, well, hold on, wait a minute. Let me go look up. Go ahead, G.
Go ahead, G.
Go ahead, because I need to
especially when Judy's not coming off a particularly good game.
Let me analyze what he's doing right here.
Okay.
So what he's doing right here is this is what we call putting pressure on yourself.
Okay.
He's putting pressure on himself because he know he didn't have a game last game.
Yeah.
He knows that in his mind, hey, look, bro, I kind of cost us a little bit. Look, if it wasn't for the kicker getting him off the hook, he was on the hook because he's a big, he was on the hook for that L, bro.
Yeah.
Like because that fourth down, a couple of these drops, the interception, that's right on his ledger, and he's supposed to be the number one receiver. So for what he's doing right now is he going back to say, listen, I got to amp myself up. I got to get myself all the way. I need to gas my own self up
Right.
so that I need to come out. Mind you, see, human nature and body language is a funny thing. He pulled the Myles Garrett playbook. I didn't know there was a shirtless Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, you kind of giggled when you saw
shirtless Jerry Jeudy, I said, okay.
I mean, the guy, he's in good shape.
honestly,
He's not Myles Garrett, but he's in good shape.
But you can tell he in his bag today.
Honestly, if I was in shape, like certainly Myles Garrett, but if I would look like Jerry Jeudy, man, I'd never wear a shirt.
Me either. Me either.
I wouldn't. I would. I mean, especially being fat my whole life.
Yeah.
If I were in good shape like these guys,
Hey,
I
listen.
would walk around all the time
If I
with a shirt on.
lose 30 more pounds to get on steroids, I ain't never
That's
having
it.
a shirt
No
on.
shirts. Throw them all away.
Should I do UCSS shirtless? Is that what you're saying, Bull?
Oh, this guy. This guy. Hey, put your Instagram out there, McNuggets. Go ahead, just throw it out there. Toss your handle out there,
You
bro.
think you're in good shape as Jerry Jeudy?
He got more abs than him.
Can we see that video, Jerry Jeudy, again?
Yeah, he got.
Yeah, you can pull it up.
Yeah, let's see that again.
McNuggets is more
Jerry,
defined.
Baltimore
Dude, you
secondary,
think
a lot
you're in
of
better
notable
shape than this guy?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
no,
he is.
Jerry Jeudy's a much better athlete, but like,
Yeah,
who's more chiseled right now? I'm more chiseled than
Yeah,
Jerry.
he is. I'll give him that.
anyways,
That's
can
I'll be
I?
pause. I'll be stalking the Instagram.
Wow.
I said, okay.
Wow.
Man, we're friends, man. We just
Wow.
we just friends. There's nothing.
That's that's crazy.
Damn.
Anyways,
Yeah.
On a lighter note, you out of line, bro.
I said it like, dang, McNuggets.
So I think Jerry Jeudy looked at Baltimore secondary and he looked at. Let me ask you this, Bull.
Yeah.
If you was picking receivers, would you
Yes.
take Jeudy or Keon Coleman?
Jeudy.
Would you take Jeudy or Khalil Shakir?
Shakir.
Shakir.
Jeudy.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you take Jeudy or Joshua Palmer?
Jeudy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason I feel like Jeudy feels this way is because we think of the names on paper. On paper, Baltimore secondary looks like this unbelievable thing.
Right.
Keon Coleman went for 8 catches, 112 yards, a touchdown. Khalil Shakir had 6 catches for 64 yards, and Joshua Palmer had 5 catches for 61 yards. So I say all that to say.
Who are they playing with?
Joshua Allen.
Okay.
I say all that to say I believe that he thinks that this secondary may be a tad bit overrated. And if you watch that game, my boy Jair in that second half look a little iffy. Look a little iffy.
All right.
And the thing about playing with two good corners playing alongside each other is that you really find out what people think of you as a corner. Why do I say that? Because it makes me think of Asante Samuel and Nnamdi Asamoah. You know why? Because Nnamdi, before he went to Philly, everybody was like, oh, he's just great corner. Oh, my goodness, man to man, he's the best in the league. And Asante was like, he good, but I'm just telling you, I don't think he what y'all think he is. He comes to Philadelphia, and they say, all right, watch this. Now, they not going to go at Asante because the difference between Asante and Nnamdi is Nnamdi going to break the pass up. Asante going to pick 6 you. So, offensive coordinator say, this is what we going to do. That guy over there is dangerous. We ain't messing with him, but we going to get money on this side. And Jair might be facing that type of scrutiny right now.
Does that hurt your ego a little bit?
It does. Because, see, on the other side, on All-Pro Marlowe's side, he's a turnover machine. He going to get picks. He going to punch the ball out.
That guy's always great when he's healthy. I mean, he's hurt a lot.
Jair, I'm just saying. If the Browns come out and they attack number 23, it just tells me something.
If you were a member of that Ravens secondary right now, you saw that clip. You pissed? Is it motivating you?
No.
You don't care?
No.
So do you think when we talk about bulletin board material, is that overrated? Do the guys not really use that?
I mean, it depends on how wild the statement is.
Okay, you don't think it's
if
wild?
he went over there and was like, I never heard of none of them guys in the secondary, that's a totally different thing. But for him to say, I don't see no challenge, like that's not crazy to me.
Okay.
I think
they got their own thing. I just told you 3 receivers that had over 60 yards apiece. They got their own thing they need to worry about.
The fact that, like, sometimes when you talk about bulletin board material, that goes to the more of the character of the people that's using the bulletin board material. Because some people would ask, okay, you using all that bulletin board material, ain't you supposed to be playing hard regardless? No matter who it is, ain't you supposed to be ready to go?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the NFL. If you need motivation at this level, like college, that may work. Look, you know what I'm saying? College is a little less maturity level. You know what I'm saying? There's a wide gap between who's really good and who's not. But when you're talking about like guys like NFL dudes, everybody know everybody can play. Everybody know that. So yeah, like Jeudy may feel like, look, it's cool, but we're not really worried about it. Like what they gonna do?
All right. I guess in the future we don't need to talk about bulletin board material. It don't matter.
No, it depends on how wild the statement
now,
is.
Now if it's like y'all always try to tell us.
Yeah.
If it's a quarterback, that's different. There's levels to it. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like if Joe Burrow just came out and was like, man, every single defense is trash and I'm going for 400. Now everybody done picked up on that. The whole world done picked up on it. Now is it? But he's a receiver. Receiver's supposed to say that, right?
All right, fair enough, Mike. Go ahead.
We got Zac Jackson. Let's bring Zac in after a quick word from Mazda. Mazda moves the game forward because they believe it's not just about playing the game. It's about redefining it because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible. They remind us to go that extra yard, shift into that extra gear, and keep the game moving forward. Just like your favorite Browns players who go the extra yard to keep the game alive, Mazda does the same on the road. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved. And with that, we welcome in Zac Jackson from The Athletic to the show. How you doing today, Zac?
I'm good. Zac, what's going on?
Hey, man, you got the hottest one-liners in the game now, Zac. You are known for the
What's the latest?
No, he just every time he come on, he drops one liner, they go viral, bro. They crazy. Yeah, we're gonna get to some more today too.
All right. I'm curious your take, Zac, on the Judkins thing. Why do you think there's any rhyme or reason to why they waited till yesterday to bring him in?
No, I did think it was curious, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not do it before? And he was at the game Sunday. I saw him in the media at halftime while they're running for 2 yards a carry. So that's not great.
30 seconds in. Why do you know?
I mean, it's true. Bow. That is a fact. They were running for 2 yards a carry.
But back in July when this first happened,
I
dove into like the cases of how these go.
Yeah.
And there's no precedent.
Right,
There's
I know.
no like checklist, right, for when this goes. So, you know, I do think there was some thought. I heard this that once the Rashee Rice thing came, that he would be next. But the Rashee Rice thing was settled 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I don't. It's strange. So, do you expect him to play this week?
No, I don't think there's any chance.
Not at all.
I don't think there's how only
Not
2
enough
practices.
time. Yeah,
right? Like how he's just missed so much. So maybe I'm wrong about that.
Right.
Logic doesn't always apply to the Browns, but I think next week.
Certainly true. So week 3 is your prediction.
I mean, these guys have been playing football a minimum of 4 days a week since July 23rd.
Yeah.
And a guy on 2 days can go play the Baltimore Ravens?
Yeah, that's
good point.
wild.
And the Ravens. That's true.
Is the Bond thing over? Bond kind of came out and played, and it was cool. We had
And Bush too,
and
as
Bush,
you mentioned.
like, is there any similarities between those two?
The Bush thing is not over. His trial is in December.
Dang.
But I believe the Bond thing is over for this reason. When the roster cutdown day came on August 27th and there was no decision, because that gives the teams clarity because they're cutting so many guys that day. And
Right.
Bond wasn't on it, and I was perplexed that Judkins wasn't on it, but when Bond wasn't on it, he had just signed the guaranteed contract 8 days earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that part is probably over. But
okay.
again, this is all internal, and they
Yeah.
don't share anything. So I think the Browns have known all along where this stands, but I'm not sure the Browns even knew everything because they were surprised by the Watson thing, right?
Sure.
And there was a lot more layers to that and a lot
yeah.
more at stake. But Judkins is supposed to be this team's starting running back, and they can't run the ball.
Right.
So they need him in there, and he needs to play a little bit at a time to even
Yeah.
get close to full speed.
Go ahead, Tyvis.
I was just going to ask you, when you look at this offense, right, obviously Jeudy and Harold Fanning got a lot of targets.
Yeah.
When you look at this Baltimore Ravens secondary in this defense, does Harold Fanning have the game that he had last week?
Well, he might have to, right? The one thing that I noticed when I went back and watched the game is early in the game, I thought Flacco had a read intended. The guy wasn't open for whatever reason, and he went to Harold Fanning. And later in the game, he seemed to be seeking him out. And Harold Fanning was making guys miss. And all these numbers, right, he tied the rookie record for most receptions. One that didn't count, he blasted the guy on the sideline. DeJuan got a holding. That play doesn't go on the stats. But that's an 8-yard reception that he finishes with authority. So
true.
He's really impressive guy. And I just thought for sure he was going to him intentionally. A lot of those Samson swings were just, hey, we're in trouble, let's get rid of it. But when I went back and watched, I saw some nice designs on those too. Like get the guy the ball in space, he's got some shake. So both those guys are off to a good start. Now, is Harold Fanning going to have 9-10 targets every week? I don't know. But I mean, it's certainly going forward, this is your tight end.
So you think
and I don't mean just this month, but
Yeah, sure.
so
Absolutely.
you think this could be the end of the David Njoku?
it could be. He does not have a contract for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
don't
has
know.
a huge cap number for next year, but he does not have a contract for next year.
When you look at Flacco, I kind of compared it to like he's a dude who has the answers to the test, and what I mean by that is, like you saw, like if it wasn't there, if the first one wasn't there, he already immediately knew. Like it was no questioning about it. Is that the difference between when people say he gives you the best chance to win because he's seen every defense that he can get the ball out like that? Is that the difference between him and playing rookies?
Yeah, that's one of the primary reasons that I thought that forming in competition, but the rookies never had a chance because you're just that experience. You just can't teach that, and especially Joe. Right, early in the season, they need steadiness. Do they need to score more than 16? Sure. Should they have scored more than 16? Sure. But they know from Monday till Sunday what they're getting out of Joe, where they want him to go with the ball. Is he going to turn it over? Yes. Is he going to throw it deeper? Like I think the Bengals sat back and took it away. Garrett, what'd you say last week? If I'm Joe Flacco and I'm 40, I'm flinging it.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals are ready for that.
Yeah.
So this week early on, they got to say, hey, we're getting rid of it, hell or high water. Like we're going to get Isaiah Bond involved. We've got to get Jeudy involved deep on the deep stuff. You're not going to dink and dunk and beat the Ravens 17-16. Maybe you are.
Right.
But you have to think about, we have to put some pressure on them by making these big plays.
You agree with these guys that what the Jeudy comment is a nothing burger?
Yeah, I mean.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. This is what it is, right? These teams know each other.
Yeah. Andre Schmidt, obviously, big topic this week. Did the Browns do the right thing, and how much of a leash does he have, you think?
Well, he can't have much of a leash, but here's the problem. So they knew all summer they had a big Dustin Hopkins problem, right?
Yeah.
And they knew that probably on August 27th they were going to have to move on from Dustin Hopkins. So you have Andre Schmidt, who's never kicked in an NFL game.
Yeah.
You're watching the waiver wire. You're watching all these other teams. When you pick Schmidt, that's your guy. You're not going out externally. And then you want to give him the confidence. You're not bringing in anyone else.
Right.
So how many realistic options are there? I don't know. The Dolphins have an emergency kicker. The Bills have an emergency kicker. But now that you go back to him, it's less on him and more on you. Right?
Yeah.
Like the leaders of the team got up and said, we support him. He misses one this week. What are they going to say, Garrett?
I don't know, my dog, my bro.
It depends if he misses one and they lose.
Well, right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You can't lose because of the kicker 2 weeks in a row.
Come on now.
When he trotted out for that field goal, I swear, I looked at Jason sitting right next to me, and I said, "This poor kid." Like I knew.
Yeah. You knew it was not
Wait,
happening.
you talking about after you missed the extra point?
Yeah.
Before the 36-yard, I was like, "This
What
poor
did you
kid.
what did you think of the 4th and 5 where they decided not to kick it and they threw the slant to Jeudy? Do you think they should have
It's
given?
got to be a conversion, right?
You think they should have gave the kicker that?
That was an awful long one in a tough spot. I think they did right. The
No,
ball's
they
right
did
there.
the right
Catch
thing.
the ball.
Hit him right in the stomach.
Right, catch the ball.
That was the worst drop. I mean, because that was
well,
such a
Harold Fanning dropped it
Well,
right
and listen,
before
that
that
was
too.
no. That was not an easy catch.
True, but did it touch his hands?
Yeah, he probably
But
was.
he had to-
What's the rule?
Tyvis, I hear what you're saying.
What's the rule, Zach?
If it hits your hands, you got to catch.
Agreed, but you would agree that the Jeudy play was an easier
Oh
catch.
yeah, I agree with
that's
that
all I'm
1,000%.
5,000.
That's all I'm saying.
What did you make of Mason Graham? I thought he had a rough, maybe series or two in the beginning when they ran right at him, but he showed what he could do as far as pushing the pocket from the middle when you got like Miles Garrett on the outside. He can give you something.
Yeah, I agree. I went back and watched, and it was a rough start. And I think probably the Bengals said, we're going to run right at this rookie. Like, he's a rookie. We're going to go do it. He settled in. But, yeah. he's athletic. He's smart. He's adjusting to everything like everybody else. But this defensive line is a strength. And if you're going to beat the Ravens, you have to blow up the right side of the offensive line. What are they going to do? Exactly what the Bengals did. They're going to do it with the guy who weighs 100 more pounds than Chase Brown does. Right? And obviously they can do other things. And they're a tough matchup for the Browns because they naturally move the pocket against that attack front defensive line.
Right.
The Browns have had a lot of success against Lamar comparatively. I
Yeah.
think JOK was a big part of that.
Yeah.
Right? But certainly Miles, it's hard to run away from him.
I was going to ask about Miles real quick, Zach. In
Go
the
ahead.
pantheon of crazy feats that we've seen Miles do, that series in the third quarter where he had the back-to-back sacks and forced the third sack that was credited to Isaiah McGuire, where does that rank on the best stretches you've seen from Miles in his career?
Yeah, I mean, it's up there, but this is what he does, right? Like, he has taken over games in Baltimore. When they won, the Deshaun Watson one good game, right?
Yeah.
That was you could see Lamar was dropping back and looking for Miles. As soon as he did it. And then those blocked field goals and stuff when he jumps over the guy. I mean, Miles can do all of that. Joe Burrow saves the game on that third sack by lunging forward and not taking a safety.
Yeah. It is amazing. It's why he's so clearly the best pass rusher in the league, because he doesn't affect. Like Joe Burrow, Myles Garrett's the only player in the NFL that affects Joe Burrow, in my opinion. And I watch him every week.
Yeah.
You said Lamar's looking for him. Like, TJ Watt's a good player. You're not looking for him the same way.
I'm glad you said that. Dan Pitcher, the offensive coordinator of the Bengals, is going to be a head coach in this league. He talked earlier this week.
Yeah.
And he said, it's week one, you do this, and he talked about and then they asked him a question about burning the timeouts.
Yeah.
And he said, you're exactly right. In most circumstances, when you burn a timeout in the second half, that's bad football. Because when we're playing against Myles Garrett, we will burn the timeout every time rather than let him be.
That's it. He's one of one. He's really one of one. It's amazing.
When you look at the defense, G New had a really good game.
Yeah.
Is this something that you think he can continue to sustain through this season? Obviously, it's a big contract year, so I'm hoping that he does. Or do you think this is just the first week woes of playing in the NFL?
Well, new player since July 23rd, Greg Newsome. And then last year he didn't have camp at all, and that matters. But this year he should be motivated. It's the contract. The Emerson injury happens, 4 days into camp. He knows he's a full-time player in one role, which he hasn't had that in years either. So he's got 1 million, 15, 20, 30 million reasons to play. But he's been good. And so 2 weeks into camp, he makes a great play, breaking up a pass to Jerry Jeudy. He lands on his shoulder. They sit him out. He's still out there. They're just saying we can't afford to lose him. That's what they were saying. So I was surprised that they went to Miles Harden over Cam Mitchell. I was not stunned based on how Cam Mitchell played in the preseason and just the game flow and what they did. It didn't really matter. One time the Bengals got T. Higgins matched up on Miles Harden. It was easy. Well, guess what? They do that to a lot of people. So the Ravens, it's a completely different offensive attack.
That's Zay Flowers.
I mean, you're not going to Denzel Ward unless you have to,
Right.
or unless you're trying to set something up, right? Like they're going to throw at those other guys, and if Greg Newsome has a big year, then this defense can be as good as.
So
as they
does
think
he go in the slot and check Zay Flowers this week?
That's a great. That's not what Schwartz does.
True.
For the most
so
part.
Miles Harden is on Zay Flowers.
I think we all
Earned you some
assume
money today.
that Greg Newsome would walk after the season, but if he has a big year on the outside, do they re-sign him?
Well, I think we assumed that because they were going to re-sign Emerson.
Right, but now it might flip.
Yeah, and I think that I assumed that Greg Newsome was going to be traded too, because the way
Sure.
he's on that 5th-year option,
Yep.
which means there's no dead money. But now you can't trade him. I mean, if they're 0-6,
Yeah, sure.
right? But that can't be part of the thinking. So yeah, look, this defense is off to a good start.
Yeah.
They have to get some help. They obviously have to. Every time the Browns lose the turnover battle, they're probably going to lose the game.
Yes.
Is that a silly thing to say in week 1? In some ways, but that's what it is. So
Yeah.
Denzel and Greg, these guys have to avoid playing hero ball, right, Tyvis? But they have to create turnovers, and Greg Newsome has to be good, or teams are simply going to say, we'll play one way. Put Denzel over there, that's fine. We won't even look that direction.
I don't like drafting linemen. I don't. But
Well, neither did they last year, which is why they're in big trouble going forward.
Yeah, they are.
that's another one. That's 2 for him. That's 2 for him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So you don't got no offensive lineman next year, and so I'm guessing everybody keeps saying that the package is alive and well, that you're gonna package these first 2 picks, and I'm like, to get a quarterback, and I'm like, how are you fielding an offensive line?
Yeah.
I don't know, like it. That position scares me a little bit. And, DeJuan, in terms of run blocking, I wasn't really impressed by what he did last game. So, four offensive linemen gone, where do you see this thing? And do they have break glass, huge problem on their hands with the offensive line moving forward after this year?
Yeah, they might, right? I mean, I think it's getting a little far ahead after one game, but, I mean, when you have 4 starters who have done what these guys have done, and they're all in their 30s, and they're all not under contract for next year, that is worrisome. I think a big thing is, does DeJuan make it through this season healthy? He hasn't done that. He's played well.
Yeah.
He's shown growth. He hasn't finished the season. If he's your left tackle of the future, at least for next year, that's a huge win. If he's not, that's another big area.
Oh, my God.
You can re-sign Wyatt Teller. We'll see if Joel wants to play again, or we'll come back here. I don't think Joel wants to play anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the final record and how this season goes might determine Joel's thinking.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
And Poshik's a free agent.
Right.
He's 30 or 31.
Conklin's a free
and
agent.
Jack Conklin redid his deal to become. Jack Conklin had to redo his deal. This team wasn't going to be able to afford him.
Right.
So they gave him money up front and the opportunity to hit free agency after this year.
The one rookie we haven't talked about yet, Carson Schlesinger, obviously he also, like a lot of the players on defense, came alive in the second half. He seemed to be all over the place in that second half.
Yeah, there was a couple plays where he knows what they're running right away. And for
That's
a rookie
impressive.
in his first game, that's super impressive. So that's what he's been the whole summer. So he played 100% of the snaps, and that's my one worry.
Wow.
You're putting so much on his plate, but he so far he's taken it just a
Yeah.
long, long way. And then obviously your first time against Lamar, you can't replicate that.
What's the game plan there? Like, what are they doing?
Church, go to church.
You're right. He's good with the one-liners. He's on a roll.
No, I mean they've
Yeah.
had success because they play the way they play. That gives them fits. They get upfield, and then you make Lamar think about where Miles is. You have a brand new right tackle, and the right side of the offensive line is shaky.
Yeah.
You move Miles a little bit. You hope Isaiah McGuire plays like he has.
Yeah.
Try to get some push, get back there, and disrupt him.
Let me ask you about go back to the offensive line, because McNuggets showed us their PFF grades for run blocking. It wasn't good.
No.
Well, Batonio and Teller was good. The rest
Antonio and Teller was good. The rest of the other 3 were not
solid.
good. Do we have an issue? Is this offensive line old and beat up?
Well, I think they have a run game issue. Right?
Okay.
And that's that your quarterback's a statue.
So it's not just the running back. It's the
your running backs are tiny, and I thought Jerome Ford, that was about as awful as a game as an NFL running back could play.
I don't even know what he
Just
did.
hideous.
To be honest with you.
Well, he didn't break a single tackle.
No,
I know that.
Yeah, he was terrible. So you got the quarterback's a statue, the running backs are tiny, and the O-line's not blocking. Well,
and
that's a bad combination.
So why is Harold Phantom playing Wildcat quarterback? People are like, what are we doing? Because you at least have to give them something to look at.
Right.
And whether it works or not, maybe in the future it says something else. Like you're desperate. So you're going to see Isaiah Bond and Jerry Jeudy in the jet sweep game. You're going to see those swings to Dylan Sanders. Like, you have to keep the defense honest. You cannot just drop back. If Joe Flacco throws for 400 and they score a bunch and win, it'll be Flacco having 50 dropbacks and doing that. But in the flow of the game and in the success of the offense, you can't do that. He's going to get killed.
Let me ask you this question. Yeah, man, I got to get a kooky one in here. Say something happens wild where Flacco, he goes down.
D. Watt. Come on now. I know where you're going with this.
Dylan Gabriel comes in. Maybe he's smaller stature, gets hit. Shador, they say he hold the ball too much. He may, hey. Is there any world where Deshaun Watson
I knew it.
takes a snap for the Cleveland Browns, or is this underwritten? He will not play anymore. We're not.
Week 8.
So on September 11th, you got a lot of November questions.
Yeah, we
really.
do. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
There is a world. Do I think that's anyone's intention?
No.
And do I think that it's likely at all, even if we get closer to that world? No. But there is a world. When he went on active PUP instead of reserve PUP, that made him eligible to play this season. And when he went on active PUP again on August 27th, when they made all these moves, that means that anytime after week 4, he is eligible to return. And there used to be, Garrett, a deadline to where those guys had to be activated after a practice window and all that. There's not anymore. It could be Christmas week, and they could activate Deshaun Watson.
That is wild.
So it's could, and we'll
Who's
see. He
coming
would have
home
to
for
be cleared.
Christmas?
But if he's cleared, people say, and I guess fear is not a wild term to use here, that the NFLPA and Watson's camp will put him on the roster if he's cleared. And I think they will have to if he's cleared. Now, will it be any kind of clearance? I mean, the second Achilles tear was early January.
Yeah.
So right now we're not even to 10 months.
Yeah.
From a second.
Right.
So he's been working out. He
You
watched
seen-
almost all of training camp from the weight room. We've seen the videos pop up. He's in the facility. He's with the team, right? Like he's doing what he has to do. He's in the meetings.
Yeah.
Kevin's been very clear about that. But when and if he gets cleared, then that is something to tackle.
By the way, I think it's funny that on Monday, the rest of us were all saying how there's some positives, and G was like, I don't want to hear about positives. They lost. It's all about right. And now you're the one who keeps asking the futuristic questions.
Hey, well, listen, I got to get him in here, bro. Listen, this is I can't ask nobody else these questions, bro.
Well,
because here's the thing, and there is a world. Like I just went back and watched the 16 season. I believe they had Josh McCown, they had Charlie Whitehurst, they had RG3 who got hurt in the first game. They had 5 quarterbacks by week 3. Then Cody Kessler eventually played.
You're way off. Charlie was way before that, but that is what happened.
You're right.
11 times since '99, they've had at least 3 different starting quarterbacks.
That's just crazy.
And Charlie did have to play for the Browns. Now, he is not one of the 40. He did not start a game. But there was a situation where
he came in a game.
And then last year, when they benched Jameis, made him the 3, and he had to play. That was only the 7th time in the history of the NFL under this rule of that the third guy actually had to play.
Yeah. Wow.
It hasn't. Now that rule has not been in for a long
true.
time, and it actually went away for several years. But it's not supposed to happen.
Right. Zach, the Browns ran more pre-snap motion than they have in a long time. Is that just Stefanski changing, or is that a Tommy Rees influence?
It's Stefanski's offense,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
And a lot of it, I think, was Isaiah Bond trying to set up some stuff for later. But I think when you went back and watched, I think a lot of it was giving Flacco that look. Like, Joe can diagnose, here's what the defense is, so here's where I'm going, either here or here. And that's what a lot of the Harold Phantom receptions were. Is he knows where it's coming, he looks one way, he throws it, and then Harold was really impressive after the catch.
Let me ask you about Kevin as a quarterback guy. Kevin gets credit for using, having backup guys ready to play and all those things. But, when you look at some of the star or the big-time quarterbacks, he necessarily haven't gotten the best out of them. I say all that to say, are you confident that they will get it right if they decide to go with a quarterback next year in the draft? Yes, next year. With that, out of him, whoever that is, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur, do you expect to see good quarterback play out of any one of those 2?
I think that's a lingering question with Kevin, right? Like, he's a good coach. He's produced in adverse situations. I think he has the team ready to play most weeks, but can he be that guy? I think that's a great one.
I just don't. I'm concerned about the development part. I don't know a guy that he's taken that was seen as nothing and developed him, and then he became a good.
No, that hasn't happened. And I mean, it was his clashes with Baker, which is why I knew that night in Pittsburgh was Baker's last game here. Their hands were tied, and so that's why they went the Watson route. And then when Watson told them no, they said, "What are we supposed to do?" And that's when ownership said, "Well, we're not going to take no for an answer." That's why we're here talking on September 11th about what might happen in November or April.
Is that why most coaches, a lot of coaches prefer veterans?
Because
they're more programmable. They know what the game is. Young guys.
Last thing, Zach, 32.5 points, Ohio State over G. Bush's alma mater, Ohio U. Will the Bobcats cover?
It's also my alma mater.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They might. That Parker Navarro.
Will they
can play.
cover?
No, it's a little different.
Yeah.
31?
31.
Right
I
around
keep-
that.
No, 32 and a half. It's 32 and a half now.
I'm taking
Parker-
I'm taking
Come on,
the
is anybody
Buckeyes away
taking
at the point.
Ohio University and the point? It's your alma mater, Zach.
Parker
Can you do
threw
it?
3 picks yesterday,
State and the
last week.
points.
But that
Lay
game
the
shouldn't even
points.
been close. But it's at the shoe, bro, and they're focused.
Ohio State later points.
All right, you guys aren't going against it. I don't see.
Yeah,
Are the
if
Ravens
I
or Browns
had
going to win,
I would
Zach?
probably
That's
take
the only
home
thing we didn't
team.
hear.
Okay.
Yes,
And
it's 11 and a half favorite for the Ravens.
Yeah, who's-
do the Browns?
the Browns
at least
cover?
that?
I don't know. 'Cause listen, if you're the Ravens, right, and you got a problem closing games,
Yeah.
what are you doing in the fourth quarter?
You're running it
hitting
up.
the gas.
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
That's it. Not looking good for the underdogs this week. Zach, thanks, man.
Zach, you're
We
the best.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. We're
Take
going to
a
get
break.
to
Go ahead,
our
Mike.
next topic. Let Zach head over to Berea after a quick word from
Berea.
5 Hour Energy. It's time to fuel up and turn up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. The great ginger and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of the golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost, perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavors you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without ever leaving the course or chasing down the beverage cart. And now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. This does exclude the Masters. Offer ends on October 31st, 2025. All right, guys, it's time for a little No Fence Riders. And for the first time ever in the 3-year history of No Fence Riders, every single question was either a 5-3 split or a 4-4 split.
Wow.
This was the closest edition of No Fence Riders
no one-sided
we have ever
answer.
had. No one-sided answers.
Wow.
And I am excited to
Are
see-
you saying for the first time in 3 years you've actually asked good questions?
Potentially, yes. That is very fair. That is very fair to say. So with that, let's dive in. Guys, the first No Fence Rider of the week. Will Lamar Jackson outrush the Browns by himself? In week 1, Lamar did outrush the Browns individually. This was a 5-3 answer. On the yes side, we have G, Ty, Earl, Dustin, and Jason. Myself, Bull, and Jay. And you know, if Bull and Jay agree, we have issues.
Yeah, really? That's a weird one.
Or on the no side.
Rare.
So I feel not as good about this answer as I did previously. Bull, why do you say no before we hear from the yeses?
Well, because Lamar Jackson generally has not put up big rushing yards against the Browns. I feel, the Browns' strength, we thought coming into the season would be their D-line. It played that way in week 1. I don't want to overreact, and, I think it's got way more to prove. But I think that's the strength of the team. And again, Lamar has not put up big numbers in terms of rushing against the Browns. They've done, better than most teams against them. I think his yards per carry against the Browns is one of the one of the lowest of any team that he's faced. So, listen, you can't shut down Lamar. He'll have his yards, but I think he's more likely to have a 50, 60-yard game than something bigger than that. So the Browns will have more rushing yards than that. Maybe not a lot more, but
That's my issue with it.
Yeah.
That's why I was
Teetering.
Yeah, because the Browns rushing attack, it didn't look good, and the Cincinnati Bengals defense was not some world-class defense.
Nope.
So the fact that they weren't able to successfully run the ball against them tells me they have no chance against Baltimore running the ball. Then I think the fact that they might go down in this game, so when you go down, you
Right.
abandon the run, the throw to get back into the game. And I think Lamar, they're going to probably start off with Derrick Henry, see if Carson Schwarzenegger can handle the Derrick Henry effect. Last time they went up against Derrick Henry, we seen JOK, the injury with JOK, so that's probably in their head. They probably got to get on him pretty early, and if that's the case, if that defense is trying to get to Derrick Henry early, Lamar is going to pull that ball one time and take off.
That's the problem. Like, if you're gonna play Jim Schwartz's defense, the key to getting Derrick Henry is getting penetration, and you got to be in the backfield so he can't move and get a downhill steam.
Once that happens, you're done.
It's over. Once that happens, he get those 4, 5, 6 steps.
Yeah.
Running downhill, it's a wrap. So you got to get him in the backfield. So you got to pin your ears back and have penetration. But the problem is, Lamar Jackson, all he got to do is this. I got you. And when he pulled a rock, it's a wrap because he's faster than everybody you got in the secondary.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
Whoa. Denzel's probably faster than him. They called him, he was Flash Ward.
I know. Denzel, put it to you like this. If there's even a question, if it's even close, that means he's faster than everybody else. Like, if you Denzel Ward speed at quarterback is ridiculous. If you Denzel Ward speed at running back or receiver, that's ridiculous. So when he do that, now it's like, oh man. And then plus, it's the little runs that get you like the Lamar Jackson, I had everybody covered and then the rush lanes ain't covered. So then he takes off and give you that 13, 14. Them ones really kill you because they move the sticks and they keep the rock. And now you got to see Derrick Henry 2 more times.
And you got to play a lot of zone, which I'm worried about our communication because if you play man-to-man, that's the Michael Vick effect. That means that nobody see Lamar and Lamar gone.
And then, JOK was, a lot of them games we mentioned, Zach mentioned, JOK was they got him just for Lamar Jackson. JOK was like a dude that he could spy and move around, and they could really move around on a chessboard. I want to see what Carson Western – like, listen, I said – I called him Carson Matthews, like he was part of the Matthews family. But here's this thing.
Yeah.
We going to find out today,
on
Sunday, what type of level of athleticism he got. Because
that's true.
That is a fact.
By the way, guys, if you –
for a rookie linebacker against this offense, this early in the season's a hell of a test.
It's the best run, along with Philly, it's the best running. Philly or Baltimore, take your pick, best running games in football. I mean, that's
both
tough
of them
call.
Is nasty work.
I'd rather have Lamar than Hurts.
But I would rather Saquon.
No, though it's hard to say. Hard to take anybody over Derrick Henry.
Saquon is a good pass catcher, though.
Yeah, but just running. I would take the Ravens pair. Just running the ball. Slightly, yes, I agree. But here's a crazy stat that you may or may not know about Derrick Henry. Have you heard this? Anybody?
Is it about his high school?
Oh, you just spoiled it.
Well, it's one of my McNugget stats for tomorrow. I won't say, you can say it, but it's one of my stats for tomorrow.
So Derrick Henry, this is his 10th season in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He has about 11,500 yards. That's a lot. In fact, it's the most in the NFL since he came into the league. Mm-hmm. It's not more than he ran for in high school.
Yeah,
I remember.
He ran for like 12,000 plus yards in 4 years of high school. That is insane.
I may have to find a new stat.
His stats in high school is
unbelievable. So why is he not in? So think about this.
Yeah.
Why is he not in contention as one of the greatest backs of all time?
I think he is now.
He ran for 2,000 in college.
But and remember his first couple of years in the NFL, they weren't giving him the ball that much.
Yeah, they had another back. Who was taking up carries for them?
For the
Titans? White. Was it somebody White?
Lindell White.
Or am I making that up?
He was still playing? I thought Lindell White was playing with
his first 2 years.
His first year,
Chris Johnson?
Derrick Henry's first year in Tennessee, played 15 games, had 490 yards, but only on 110 carries.
Okay.
Second year, 176 carries, 744 yards. And then, since then he's been
who was
just
the back
ridiculous.
that had those years?
What year was this?
It was 16 and 17.
Okay.
I got you right now, Bolt.
Go ahead.
In 2016, the leading rusher was DeMarco Murray. It
Oh,
wasn't Lindell White, DeMarco Murray.
Right, they went and got
And
him in free agency.
In 2016, DeMarco Murray was a second-team All-Pro with
1,300 yards that year, DeMarco Murray.
He was really, really good.
I can see why.
Marcus Mariota had almost as many yards rushing as Derrick Henry in that first year.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Why? See, the Texans was supposed to, or the Titans was supposed to be good.
Yeah,
But
well,
the
they were
quarterback
good,
didn't
I
pan
think.
out.
Got Cam
And when the
Ward,
quarterback
I
don't
think
pan
I
out,
think
that's what
legit.
happens.
That's what happened.
All right, speaking of quarterbacks, the quarterback is the focus of our second no-fence rider.
Okay.
We talk about Joe Flacco, his touchdowns, and his turnovers.
Yeah.
The question was, will Flacco have a positive touchdown-to-turnover ratio against Baltimore? If you think it'd be even, 2 touchdowns, 2 turnovers, the answer was no. In this split, once again a 3-5 split, Tyvis, Earl, and Jay are believing that Flacco will have more touchdowns than turnovers, while Bull, myself, Dustin, and Jason all think it will be even or on the wrong side of the turnover to touchdown ratio. Ty, you said yes. Start us off.
I think it's going to be 2-1. I think he's going to throw 2 touchdowns to the 1 pick that he throws. I think that's what's going to happen in this game for them to have a success because I don't believe in the rushing attack. And I don't. Why is that hard to believe?
I didn't say it was hard to believe.
Y'all said no. As a matter of fact, he shouldn't have thrown one last week.
Just because we say no doesn't mean it's hard to believe that it would be yes.
I think.
Okay, so why no?
Here's what I'm gonna tell you. It's gonna be 2-2. He's gonna play good all game, right? And into that last drive,
2-1.
Until he gets, they're gonna have to have a drive. They're gonna be beat down during the game, and he gonna throw something over the middle. And it's they got two. These dudes they might not have the statistics, but they known for getting the rock. They known for
Baltimore.
I'm them safeties that be lurking over the middle. They long, rangy. And I don't feel like he's gonna be out here being precision. He gonna throw 2. You're gonna throw 2 touchdowns. Give him another 2.
Tyvis, when we were talking about the running earlier, one of your arguments for why the Browns wouldn't have a lot of rushing yards was that you think the Ravens are going to be up a decent amount.
Yeah.
Well, if the Ravens are up a decent amount, which never was the case, like last week, because they were never down more than 7 to Cincinnati. If that's the case, they're going to be throwing a lot, which is what you suggested. And Joe's going to have to take some chances, right? Because if you're down more than a touchdown, you can't dink and dunk the whole time. So he's going to have to take some chances down the field. That could lead to mistakes. The Browns have, not really been a team that on those 50-50 balls, their receivers are like, give me the ball,
Last week when you watched his performance, did he ever throw a ball that you was like,
No.
See?
He did not last week. No.
Now, granted, but the secondary for Cincinnati is not the greatest thing in the world, so I'll give him that. But I thought he was very smart with the ball. That's why I'm like, I feel like he kind of learned a little bit.
But they were never down big in that game. And they're more likely in this game on the road to be down more. And thus, he's going to he really didn't throw the ball down the field last week.
And that, to me, the Browns' best chance of winning is him throwing the ball downfield. And if teams say, listen, Jerry Jeudy is not going to destroy us underneath Cedric Tillman, and we don't even see it's peekaboo with Jerome Ford. We don't even see him. We open our eyes.
What did Jameis do when we beat them last year? What was his stats? You got him, McNugget?
I can pull him up. That was the game that Jameis went buku and threw for a ton of yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Now, there was the infamous drop pick that Kyle Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, that would have been the game.
Certainly would want back.
That game.
They dropped a couple.
Yeah.
All right, last year, Jameis against Baltimore threw for not 25, 24 game log for Jameis. Against Baltimore, he threw for 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, ran for 2 yards, had a total QBR of 86.5 and a quarterback rating of 115.3.
If he could do that, Joe could do that.
Run for 2 yards?
Yeah.
I think Joe can run for 2 yards.
Yeah, he got 4 last week.
Yeah, it's true.
But, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it's possible he can do that. My thing is, my game plan for the Cleveland Browns is you're not scaring me out of nothing. Y'all going to have to run for 200. And I could get home before, I feel like I could get home before.
Who else said It was me, Jay, and who?
It was you, Jay, and Earl.
Oh, shout out to Earl. He know ball.
Our guy Bernie just walked in. We got Bernie coming on in about 25 minutes here.
Okay.
Glad to see Bernie in the studio.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next one, guys. Myles Garrett, in his career, has sacked Lamar 8.5 times in 14 games. There is 14 sacks against the Ravens. 8.5 sacks against the Ravens in 14 games. Got those numbers mixed up. It's his fewest against any AFC North team. We talked about how many sacks he has against Burrow and the Bengals.
Are those all against Lamar or no?
I have to go back. I'm not 100% sure.
A couple games.
Well, when
Lamar missed the game, so there's a chance he sacked.
Well, Joe Flacco was probably the quarterback when Myles Garrett's rookie season.
That's why I said it wasn't all against Lamar, it's just against Baltimore in his career.
All right, got it.
The question, though, is after seeing what Myles did last week, after knowing the talent of Myles Garrett, will he be able to take down Lamar this week? Another 5-3 split. 5 of us say yes. Bull, G, myself, Jason, and Dustin. While Tyvis this time is on the no side of the equation, along with Earl and Jay Crawford. You guys are wrong on this one. He's getting to Lamar this weekend.
I don't think he is.
He's not gonna sniff it.
Nah, he gonna sniff it. Of course he gonna sniff it.
Always
But
gotta do that.
Lamar gonna throw that, get rid of that ball. Like, I don't think that he gonna get a sack. I just don't. After that game he just had, Lamar ain't crazy. He gonna drift away from that man and everything. I just don't think he gonna get it. I think somebody else will. I think he gonna run him into somebody else for sure.
I think the reason he gets a sack is because they have a push inside, and you can't run around a push in the front, and he's gonna have to get closed and encompassed. And I think Myles Garrett, what he does best is run the hoops. Myles Garrett has also gotten smarter as a pass rusher. Like, it was times where Myles Garrett used to lose contain sometimes, where he just was like, yeah, I'm about to do this move, and I'm fast enough to get back outside to keep contained. And sometimes he used to lose contain a little bit. But now I notice he's doing a power move where it's like, all right, well, I could just push you back and close the pocket. Like, I'm thinking he's using a lot more bull rush, a lot more, you know what I'm saying, taking the highway down somebody's chest and really collapsing the pocket. So I think he'll get one. But like we said before, it's all about when you get him. You got to get him when you need him. And last week he did. We'll see about this week.
Yeah. I wonder what the Browns' record is in games that Myles Garrett doesn't get a sack. It's probably pretty poor.
I could try. It's going to take more than a quick
Don't do it
search.
now. That'd take a while to do.
Yeah,
but I'm curious.
I'll find it for you, though.
If Myles Garrett doesn't sack Lamar Jackson, it's going to be a long day. I know you're saying maybe it'll lead to somebody else getting a sack, but nobody else is piling up big sack numbers. Myles Garrett has to, and that doesn't mean he can't have an impact without a sack, but he needs to have a big time impact.
He gonna have an impact.
Yeah.
I just don't think he gonna record the sack.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike, next.
All right, next one. This is a dead even split, guys. And this is my favorite question, and I love the fact that it came back dead even because it means there are legitimate arguments to be made for both sides. It was a simple question. Which tight end is more likely to score on Sunday? David Njoku or Harold Fannin Jr.? The 4 that voted for Njoku were Tyvis, Bull, Dustin, and Jason, while G, myself, Earl, and Jay all think Fannin will be the first Browns tight end to find the end zone this year. Bull, why'd you go with Njoku?
I mean, here's what. Put up that graphic again. This is perfect. Of the 8 people in this, who are the 3 that are most prisoner of the moment?
Jay, in order.
Yes.
Jay, G, and Earl.
Yes.
And I am not, though.
You're not. You're the anomaly on that side. JG and Earl are most prisoner of the moment on this show. And so that's why they're all going with Fannin. I love Fannin. Love him.
Can I give you my Fannin
but-
reasoning real quick?
Yeah.
And then you guys can tell me if you disagree. We just had Zach on.
Yeah.
And Zach said in the second half of the game last week, when the plays broke down, Flacco was looking for 44. That was his safety blanket.
Guess who gonna be on though? Number 14 from the Ravens.
But you know what? I thought Hamilton will be on Njoku.
Why?
Because he's still David Njoku, and it's just one game from
If
Fannin.
he's looking for 44, why would you not go take away 44?
Because it's one game versus a 5-game repertoire that we have from 2023.
Yeah.
I know a lot can change over that time, but I actually thought Hamilton will be the one spying Njoku in the red zone,
David
which gives
Njoku
Fannin a more favorable
He's always
matchup.
been a red zone target.
I
for
agree
the
with
Browns.
that. Yeah.
And Harold Fannin hasn't yet established himself as a red zone target. So
Totally fair. Totally fair.
if either one's going to score a touchdown, and by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if both scored touchdowns. But
More likely both score or neither score?
neither.
No.
In this case.
Prisoner of the moment.
Go ahead, G.
It is a wrap, Harold Fannin. First of all,
Yeah.
y'all missing the biggest consideration
Yeah.
is what route combinations are going into it. Kevin Stefanski will utilize Harold Fannin Jr. in more ways, more sneakily, and trying to scheme him open. David Njoku is a screen catcher. he catches the ball and he rumbles down the field and says, please tackle me, and does this. Harold Fannin Jr. has already been in the Wildcat. They're going to run reverses with him. They did all of that. And guess what? Zach was correct. When you watch the film, it's like, oh, you ain't open? Fannin. When you ain't open? Fannin. You know why? Because Fannin is more twitchier. He runs better routes. And on top of that, if you look at some of the plays, he makes guys miss sometimes at the same rate as Njoku. So if he's the number one option on the play that's called up, he's going to get the rock.
So let me ask you this. You just gave a wonderful.
That was cold, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a wonderful breakdown. so let's put you as the DC of the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
You got Kyle Hamilton, one of the best safeties, if not the best safety in the game, especially when it comes to covering.
Okay.
Who you asking them to check?
Well, listen, here's what I'm going to do. You got to switch it up a little bit. Like sometimes, look, here's the thing. I don't want to keep Harold Fannin Jr. in for routes, but if I'm going to utilize my tight ends, I got to be like, all right, well, sometimes I'm going to block, and then it's check with me, right? And here's the thing. If they want to take the rookie away,
I just asked you who would you have Kyle Hamilton check?
If I seen all that, it's one game though.
Yeah,
he would have to prove it to me twice before I'm gonna take my queen and put him on him.
So in 12 personnel, you have Kyle Hamilton check David Njoku over Harold Fannin, knowing that Joe Flacco, when everything goes bad, he's looking for Harold Fannin.
But here's the thing: run the check release then, because now if you want to take that, I want check release. That's nice.
My thing is, you still thinking offensively. I'm talking about if you was the DC,
defensive coordinator.
Yes,
yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay,
I was like, yeah, go over here, and now
you up here trying to figure out how he can get open. I'm asking you from the Ravens defensive coordinator game plan.
That's what I got. Stefanski got to play ball. Now I'm like, okay, backside, who tackling this joke?
So let me ask you this: you trust Stefanski to play ball?
Man, why you asking me that question about Stefanski, man?
What?
Look, I will say this. His game plan was not trash. It was not bad against the Bengals, right? But I do think the Bengals kind of won because they came into the game and said, we're not letting Joe kill us. We just not going to do it. Now, I need to see how Stefanski counters that and says, all right, how are we going to get deep shots?
How much faith do you have that he does that?
About 45%.
All right, next, Mike.
We got two more. This next one has to do with the Browns secondary. In week 1 against Cincinnati, the Browns defensive backs held Jamar Chase and T. Higgins to a combined 59 yards. The question is, will they hold every Ravens receiver to under 60 in week 2? Zay Flowers was the only Baltimore receiver.
I was confused by this question.
Or is it combined or
not combined?
You saying
individually.
Okay.
Individual Ravens receiver surpassed 60 yards. In week 1, Zay Flowers did. No one else did for the Baltimore Ravens. So when I got the answers to this question, we had 3 yeses and 5 nos. The 3 yeses, G-Ty and Dustin. The 5 nos, Bo, me, Earl, Jay, and Jason. G, why do you say yes?
See, you see.
Interesting in this one, by the way, the 3 players all said yes.
We were like, oh, look, here's what it is. First of all, Baltimore is a bad fantasy team. Unless you have Lamar.
Or Derrick Henry.
But when you talk about it, you're like, hey, if they're playing another good team, they're not going to just spam something. Like, they're just not going to be like Lamar Jackson run all over the place and throw it for 400. They going to mix it in. Derrick Henry going to get some touches. Lamar may keep it. Andrews, they got Zay Flowers. They got a lot of different dudes. And then you talk about 60 yards. I mean, you asking, you know what I'm saying, Bateman to get 60 yards. I don't see Bateman.
Flowers probably.
Flowers
they best bet because he got Miles hard.
Because he's shifty, right? But I don't really see nobody. If Andrews gets 60 on you, that's a little too much.
He had a bad game. He only had like 1 catch last week.
If you get that,
and that's with likely not playing. Who's
I was going against him in another fantasy league. I was smiling.
Man, I got him on my team, and it was nasty.
I got one league where I have Andrews and Fannin, and I'm going to start Fannin this week.
Yeah. So, but I don't, Tyvis. I think Greg Newsome is playing like. When it's something when they say you in that position and you ain't going nowhere, you feeling like you can do some things.
It's the fact that Hopkins at this point in his career and Bateman don't really scare me. Like Zay Flowers the only one that kind of got the chance, but I do think that I don't know how much man they gonna play because you really can't play man with Lamar. So to me, I think that they'll play decently in zone, and I think they'll do a good job.
I got Zay Flowers with 77 yards in this one.
I like the specifics. Last question, then we're going to bring Bernie Kosar out into the set.
All right.
It's
Better
a
that
simple
than my
one.
Uncle Bernie.
Will Andre Schmidt make all of his kicks in week 2?
Not a
5
chance.
of us are confident, 3 of us are not.
Not a chance.
Bull, Earl, Dustin, Jason, myself said yes. G-Ty, and Jay
He stands
said
no chance of making
None
all his kicks.
at all.
He will shank extra point, but he gonna make up
That's
for
what
it
everybody
on the others.
thinks. He's going to.
He's going to do it. I'm telling you.
Anything in the
He's
40s,
going to
anything
do
in the 40s,
Yeah.
I'm going for it. If it's a 42-yard field, I'm going for it.
No, he gonna make.
They won't. They'll
He
kick
gonna
it, I
make the
bet.
field goal from long. He gonna shank an extra point. I'm telling you.
All right. Hopefully you're wrong. All right, let's bring Bernie in, Mike. Go ahead.
All right, guys, we're going to do a read. We'll bring Bernie in. Bernie's brought to us by Mazda, moving the game forward for everyone who believes it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it, because these moments do more than win. They push what's possible. They remind us to go that extra yard, to shift into that extra gear and keep the game moving, just like Bernie did during his illustrious playing career for the Cleveland Browns. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda. Mazda, move and be moved.
Bernie, I know your dad passed away recently. I just wanted to share my condolences with you. How you doing? How's your family?
Yeah, thank you. You know, it's been a big stretch physically, personally,
Yeah.
and then family-wise, you know,
Right.
with my father passing, the
Yeah.
family, God, my mother, and things that we've been going through.
Yeah.
So really appreciate you guys and your
That
thoughts,
and your
prayers.
surgery at in the similar.
Yeah, so being able to manage that and you know, deal with the arrangements and that, and
Yeah.
to actually be coming over here today, fresh from last night. I got called to where I thought I actually was going to be getting the liver transplant, and having a no-show on you today.
Yeah.
So they did not. The liver ended up being infected, so I didn't get it. So in the spirit of being a wannabe humorist and a scarred Catholic, one of the things is you gain a lot of weight, so you go plus and minus about 40 pounds a week.
Really?
Yeah, so I'll go from the slender, aborted Bernie Kosar, who now has lost about 35 pounds, but this morning I came here fresh from a stomach drain. So I started the day at about 230, and now I'm about 190.
What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it
That's
took about 8
crazy.
or 9 liters of fluid out. So that's kind of the routine I'm in until they find a liver on top of, you know, some of the.
We hope it happens soon
Let
for
me
you.
ask you this on a personal side, like, how has, you know, just developing a certain level of mental toughness with football help you get past some of your issues when you were older? Because it's like, for a lot of people, you get up and you just put your stuff on, you walk away. But for you, like you're saying, you got to go through all of this stuff. How has this football taught you about, you know, just keeping fighting, going through
Yeah,
that stuff?
really great question. It's actually maybe like we prepared or we orchestrated that.
That was
'cause,
kinda wild.
Yeah, no, I really think that football for sure has prepared you for these life lessons. And as much as you kind of like things to go smooth and easy, life isn't, just like football isn't. And when you get young, when you're young and you go through the ramifications of tough challenges and you're put in those decisions to quit or give up, football, knock down, do you quit, lay there, or get up? Well, football makes us all get up. And in these tough situations, these tough times, feeling sorry for yourself, whining, being a victim, being sad, that doesn't get you up. It doesn't get it accomplished. So that kind of put the DNA, that foundation in you, absolutely, to handle, you know, these kind of life lessons. And then, you know, like we were joking, you know, off air, you know, our football family. You know, we really have brothers, a brotherhood of us that we relate and stick together, and a group of friends that's really able to pull things together through this.
We talked with one of your brothers last night, or on the show yesterday, Leroy Horde, of course.
How's he doing?
He's doing good.
He's doing good.
And he was, of course, telling the story about you blowing off Belichick's play and that touchdown you threw, and the players were like, well, Bernie's telling us to do it, so we should do it. And then how awkward it was on the sideline. Can you take us through that again from your perspective?
You was changing the plays in the huddle?
Well, it wasn't changing. Well, you would change plays in the huddle, but like the way I was raised in quarterbacking with the great Howard Snellenberger, proud to be the only guy with Jimmy Johnson at the U, at the Cowboys and the Dolphins. Don Shula in the 1972 offense of the undefeated Miami Dolphins was the system that I was raised in. And they told me unequivocally, not only will you change the play in the huddle, that you will change, I will coach you so good that thou must change the play at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Because they're guessing where the safeties and the Mike linebacker, the strong weak safety is going to be, what the D coordinator is going to call. They're going, I'm going to coach you so good that you'll see it and be able to anticipate where they're going to go.
So this wasn't a huddle change. This was you got to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I kind of thought it was going to be in the huddle. So I had an issue with back in the day. It's funny with as a early stage Parkinsonian symptoms and early stage dementia, I could really sharply remember things crystally clear. And Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith were safeties, and they were super aggressive.
Yeah.
And it's a result-oriented world, and just like football is. And I was a guy who could not waste plays. So they were squatting on all my stuff. They didn't think I was throwing hard, deep. Our line wasn't blocking, so they knew to play tight. They didn't have enough time to throw, so we had never run a square in takeoff, and double moves are my thing against you nosy defensive backs, okay? Especially if you do not respect my arm strength, and it was dissipating at that time. So I really needed to come up with a creative way to do things. So I kept max protection, and I had never run a square in takeoff back then, and I was doing double moves like hitch and goes, slant and goes. But I wanted to get to safeties.
So you hit him with a dig and go.
I hit him with a dig and go, and because sometimes, like, I'm too lengthy in my conversation here, it's too wordy for a huddle, and we're visual people, and sometimes we're not overly intelligent in the heat of battle with concussions going. So you get out your Crayola crayons, and you get the old spray-painted landfill mud at Cleveland Stadium, and you just drew it. And I really, in double moves, young receivers, you tend to go too quick and you hesitate too quick.
3 steps. You got
3 steps. I drew it real crystal clear.
Then hit it.
Yeah, with a couple of little F-bombs in the middle to make sure it was articulated right to do. And then, Dennis Smith Atwater bid on us. It was a simple touchdown. Ironically, my last pass is a Brown. And I kind of thought it was Belichick was going to be happy with it because we needed a quick score and we needed another score to get back in the game. I was wrong.
No, you were not wrong. He was wrong. He let his ego get in the way.
Well, part of it was that it wasn't being insubordinate, but just the ability to just articulate what you're doing after the fact. I wasn't as blameless as I want to be.
Did you ever think about being going into offensive coordinator?
Yeah, you know what? I really, and even now, and it's actually to the awesome conversation on kicking and what to do and stuff. So I am groomed. I'm not saying this to be funny, and I really want to talk my way into good spirituality in heaven right now with some of the karmic stuff that's going on with me physically. So as a spiritual healer and an empathetic man in the fourth quarter of my life, I really lived by that. That isn't the human that played football, okay? And that's not the human that won games, okay? And we have multiple personalities. And the football personality of Bernie Kosar is that Howard Snellenberger, Jimmy Johnson, Don Shula. And if you watch that awesome Cowboys documentary that's going on right now, which unfortunately I could have and should have been in, but I was sick last year when they were filming it at the Ring of Honor type stuff. Massively cool, proud moment of my life to be in that environment with Jimmy over multiple decades and stuff. But Howard Snellenberger was so tough on us, and Jimmy Johnson was massively tough. As you watch that documentary, well, we thought he was soft in 1984 at the University of Miami. We were that sick. And I love Howard Snellenberg. God bless you, sir, up in heaven, but you'd be in jail on earth here today doing what he did to us, okay? And the toughness. So he personally guaranteed practice. Like when those guys fainted at practice, you just fainted. You'd rather be dead because you were going to get cut, okay? And belittled, berated, hazing and pain and assault was allowed and anticipated back then. So, I mean, Coach Snellenberg, I love you so much. We used to have 100 guys on the team. I go, how do you decide on these long-winded practices when to quit, when you stop practice? He goes, I wait till 10% of the team is hooked up to an IV bag. Like it wasn't passing out. It wasn't fainting. It wasn't throwing up because you could fake throw up. You could fake. You could fake faint. Okay, so you had to actually be inserted for the IV.
Wow.
So then on 10% of the team, 100 people, that's 10 guys in August. Well, that toughened you up, or you died and quit. And back then they were trying to run a lot of us off the team. Because, you know, if you had long scholarships, so to get extra openings, you had to either get you to die or quit.
Oh my God!
And if you didn't do those two, you survived to be a player on that team.
Who would have known
Wonder
that
what he
Bernie
would've-
was a Navy SEAL?
Yeah, man.
You got to drown in the pool before you get to be on SEAL Team 6.
Can you imagine if there was NIL? I don't think Coach would have been happy with NIL in those days.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure you would have had any life to spend it. I mean, we had curfews 365 days a year. 11 o'clock curfew,
every day.
No alcohol, no girls in the room. Now you would sneak it sporadically, but it wasn't a daily thing.
Right,
and it was
right.
multiple checks during the night. Like you think you're cool, you know, you make a check in at 11, you know, and it's 11:20, you're done, you tiptoe out. Well, then the double check comes at 2. You know, you're at Breakfast Club till you want to die. For 3
don't
months.
mention Breakfast Club no more.
Yeah,
Don't
you'd
do
be up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You run till you puke. You know.
Well, let's
Well, now
transition
that we,
to
family
transition
show.
to
Yeah.
What did you make of Joe Flacco playing as a 40-year-old guy? Did he look like he lost any ability? Did you like what you seen from him? What was your thoughts on Joe?
So I was so impressed. I can't believe that both quarterbacks combined threw for less than 300 yards and they played exceptional. Okay, that's how challenged both offenses were in the game. The Cleveland Browns defense and the defensive line was beyond exceptional, destroying anything that Joe Burrow had, and then Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome stepping up, shutting down the safety,
Jamar Chase and T.
the
Higgins.
receivers. But for Joe Flacco to, in that situation, to play as professionally as he did and to handle the game, I thought he played exceptional. And actually, again, that to me, it's 40 years old. That is not optimal in the long run, but I love the way he's playing. And unfortunately, you know, you could see we are really inexperienced and we don't have the amount of playmakers that the other people have. And if you get Jerry Jeudy focused on, you know, you're limited around there. It's awesome that Harold Fannin, you know, is stepping up like that. But, you know, there's only a handful of things. The running game was challenging, and you could absolutely need a Judkins type back to physically run and then establish the play action. Because the Bengals did not even respect really the running game from that. And so for Joe Flacco to master all those inconsistencies and little mistakes and still put us in a position that we should have won the game.
Yep.
I mean, the Cleveland Browns were better than the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday.
They were.
Yep.
You know, we were that was okay. It's disappointing to be 0-1, but we were physically better than them, and I respect that team. Okay, Cincinnati Bengals is not a bad team. So, from that perspective, it was good to see, you know, the team, you know, standing up physically.
Yeah.
And we got to get better though at showing our physical presence because we're not going to outmatch make people.
Bernie, you mentioned Fannin there briefly in the running game. Of all the rookies, who are you most impressed with? You got Fannin, you got Sampson, you got Schlesinger, you got Graham. I guess those are the four. Guessing Andre Schmidt doesn't make the impressive list. Who of those guys, who was the most impressive to you?
Yeah, so it's awesome to not be hedging and not be a homer here, but to say that, all the flack that Browns sometimes get or Andrew Berry, that's not an easy question to answer because Schlesinger, Fannin, and the back were exceptional for rookie playing. So when you can name three guys like that, and you could debate either one is being close, then that's pretty good, from that perspective. I have a whole litany. I know we're up against something.
No.
But I have a whole litany of, unfortunately, opinions on kicking and that situation.
Well, tell us, share it.
Tell us.
Well,
We're not up against it.
So it's partly, and I, as an empathetic spiritual healer in the fourth quarter of my life, I really, and as a scarred Catholic, still want to believe in second chances and forgiveness. And you all deserve a second chance and forgiveness, except in NFL football. And it's not fair. It's so not fair. But life's not fair. And it's actually why I don't want to really be making these decisions. The last 30 years. I am deep down a pleaser. I don't want to be eating you alive when you make a mistake that most everybody makes in the world. But when I go again, I am a disciple of Coach Snellenberger, Coach Johnson, Coach Shula, okay? And there is no tolerance for mistakes. And fear is a massive motivator, okay? And you may think you're talking about you and the kicker, okay, when the kicker made the mistake, okay? But you're really talking to the whole locker room. Everybody needs to know that you could die with a mistake, okay? You need to know that Tyvis, you're gone, and G. Bush, you're also gone, okay, with the wrong mistake. And this could be a lightning rod. So if possibly a ball got deflected off your hand, you want to die and impale yourself as opposed to say, it's just the one pass, it got deflected, it happens in the NFL. You really think twice about what your answer is. Even if your answer is a lie, you say you want to die. You don't say, it's the NFL, hey, maybe one ball will get dropped. No, not one kick gets dropped. Not one ball gets dropped. Not one football gets misthrown. Not one tackle gets missed that you don't want to impale yourself. And that's actually why I don't want to coach, because it's not healthy. Don't think like that. That's why I'm alone in my personal life, okay? It's not healthy at all, but it is how you win football.
I'm like, bro, he ain't lying. They ain't ready for it like that, though.
No, it's a sickness. Look at Mr. Bobcat, Coach Brian Rice, Smith this week. You guys are going to the shoe. You guys believe,
Well, that's certain things that when you talk about that game, there's some things you can do and there's some things you can't.
All right, Mikey's got a question for Bernie. Go ahead, Mike.
I did, Bernie. I'm curious because we've had some discussions like this, but we don't have the ability to actually be in a quarterback room like you do to draw your answer from. We know Flacco's the starter for the time being. We know Gabriel's the backup. We know Shador's the third string at the time. If you were in the Browns organization, how do you go about developing these two young rookies while also knowing neither's the starter yet? What's the right process to make sure they're getting developed properly within the current construct of trying to win football games as well?
And we want the Don Shula, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, how they do
not today's coaching style.
Yeah, well, you don't get today's coaching style. You'll probably get a little more reps and a little more attention than the old guys got. So it's just get your stuff together back then and hope they had depth in their staff and depth in their organization to maybe have some guys to kind of focus on you. The development, the development of young quarterbacks who aren't playing, and one of them's hard, let alone two. And now you add shortened preseason, shortened work schedules, less time in the building. So that none of that's easy and optimal right now. And there's no real experience like playing in games, and you're not really going to get that. And the longer you don't get that, the harder it is to kind of get it back. So that none of that's optimal in the short run. So if we're looking for a magic from that to make a salvation of the season, I'm a positive human being that loves to live in Disney World at Cinderella's castle in my brain, and that's even a lot for me to even kind of think I'm going to have to go back on medication to get my brain up in that space. Actually, one of the possible scenarios that, you know, could be more interesting / tragic is you know, I heard you guys a segment or two ago talking about Deshaun Watson and possibly playing, not playing. You know, there's cost things you do from a business side with people who are on PUP and stuff that you could offshoot their salary. So if, say, hypothetically, there was a player that had a $40 or $50 million salary, he wasn't going to play, you could probably buy an insurance policy for 10, 12 million, buy it out, and if he doesn't play, you pay 10 or 12 million instead of 45. But that guy can't play. But we do have a NFLPA that doesn't like you to do that to us players.
That's right. Yeah, sure.
So if, say, Deshaun wanted to play and felt he was healthy, he could attempt to force the team and the union to say, I'm healthy, attempt to let me play and be active. Now, Browns may say, well, look good, let's make him active, we got to pay him. Well, then that may void an insurance policy.
That's true.
Bring him in there to play, and then even take more reps away from the two rookies who you guys want to see, who I want to see, you know, who I want to develop. So that could be actually more attorneys could get more involved in that type
I didn't
of
think
stuff.
about that. That's a good point.
Yeah. Did you see much, like what you saw of them in the preseason and in practice, training camp? What did you think of those two guys?
I really liked them. I liked a lot about them. I think we are victims as quarterbacks. We are victims or beneficiaries of the guys around us. I just said Joe Flacco and Joe Burrow played great, and their statistics were horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, could you imagine if you're a rookie quarterback and you got to go with all those bullets flying in there? The chance to be successful would be almost nil with the issues of weapons. And then our line wasn't in sync exactly either for that. So I think that both their timings were really good. I thought Shedeur tried to do a little too much in the second game, but man, I love his confidence. I love his calmness. I love his personality. The people that say his personality is off and that, I think it will galvanize the locker room. I thought both of them showed calmness in their feet, you know, under pressure with guys like Tyvis this close, you know, being able to still stand there, keep their heads up and look down the field. So they both did a really nice job with that. So, again, it's not optimal to play right now, but I do think they showed good signs.
When you look at it, some of the things it kind of frustrates me because I don't think people understand that you don't really learn unless you're in that frying pan. The difference in the level between practice and walkthrough and being on that field when somebody's game planning for you is just night and day. And at the highest level, it's like it could be like daunting. How important is it to get game reps? We talk about these guys possibly playing 2 or 3 games. Can you evaluate a guy on 2 or 3 games, and how much time do they need to see if they really have what it takes to be a quarterback?
So that is, unfortunately, how I thought I had to develop, and you have to develop, is by playing those games. And yeah, in a couple games, you could absolutely get a good feel for it, just like I so strongly believe you can't get a good feel for it by watching me practice for 5 years. Because, again, And here I am. I'm throwing. I'm ready. Tyvis is right here. I'll throw a beautiful ball to you, Bull, right now, because I know Tyvis ain't going to kill me.
No chance.
Practice, the studio.
Yeah.
It's friggin' Thursday, okay? But Sunday at 2, I'm nervous, okay? and then the body, even though I say I'm not, okay, and now do I twitch? Do I hang? Does my head drop? You know, how do I handle? You only know, you're so right, G. Bush, until you got game reps. In a couple games, that's not enough to make or break you, but you really should have a good feel, because look at it, if you're going to run me over 2-3 times, Joe Burrow got crushed by Myles Garrett.
Oh, my God.
Okay?
My God.
And that head stayed up.
Sure.
Okay, let's see after the Mike Tyson. We all got a plan until you get whacked, punched in the face. Okay, after you punch me in the face, does my head drop? Or do I stay up? And I let you punch my chin again and break the other side of the jaw. You know?
Bernie, how do they get it done on Sunday? Right now they're 11.5-point dogs. How can they beat the Ravens on Sunday?
Yeah, this again, I could say some funny stuff that it tends to be demeaning in that, and it's gonna take complete special type stuff. You know, it's too much to say. Living in Disney World, Joe Flacco coming home. Some of the stuff they're doing from the marketing side of it is going to galvanize and make it a euphoric type visiting locker room to take over the stadium. Could a team like Baltimore take us for granted and let things slip? You know, unfortunately, they did that last year, and they blew week 2 against the Raiders. You know, if that wasn't...
And they lost last week against Buffalo.
So they started 0-2 last year. You know, I love John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Okay, I know Browns fans, we want to hear it. He's lock and loaded. That's a Hall of Fame coach. He knows he's going to layer in 0-2 last year. They had the biggest winnable game against the Raiders with some massive double-digit point spread, just like this year. So I really want to say I want the Ravens to let it be asleep and not be ready, but because they screwed up last year against the Raiders, I think Harbaugh's so far up their backside that it's going to be a massively tough task.
Bernie, we got to wrap it with this. The Ravens Sunday are celebrating their 30 years in Baltimore. I know they planned this before the season. They didn't know who they were playing week 1. Fans are very upset here. I know the players don't care because they're all young, but the fans are very upset that the Ravens are doing this. Do you have a problem with it?
So I love Joe Flacco's answer yesterday. I think so. If I could, regurgitate back and didn't have all the cognitive issues, I'd love to regurgitate back his cognitively, fluently articulate answer. If I was a player, I would have manifested that into a frenzy of that. So I'm not sure if players I would, I think that would be raising my hostility level. As an old guy now with it, I get what's going on with that. I actually think that that's something that would in a psychological way actually be in the Browns' favor, because I would be so irate with that as a player.
Yeah, I wonder if players, because I know Mary Kay asked Denzel specifically because he's from here, and Denzel said he really didn't care, but then she asked, what about your family, and do they care? And he was like, I'll go ask them, I don't know, but I know a lot of, older fans especially are pissed. They're frustrated.
I was actually, as I was getting ready to come on here, and I was goofing around on social media, and I had put something out there, and I don't always read the replies and stuff, and I saw one reply. It was like, hey, you're a Modell apologist. And I would say even to this, I had heard that David Modell, who's unfortunately passed to, I know Browns fans don't like to say that, but Mr. Modell, Art Modell, David Modell's passed, and his sons, David Modell's son's going to do it.
Yeah.
Do we really want to yell at that kid?
He's
innocent.
Know what I'm
saying?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, stuff happens, and I got both sides of the equation then. So
And you had a personal relationship. That's a different story than most.
And this is fourth quarter, Bernie.
Fourth quarter. This is better. I want karmatic positivity.
But if you were the quarterback of the Browns and you were 28 years old, you'd be firing everybody up about this, right?
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah.
I mean, but again, I'm here praying to any God, any religion that's appropriately going to help me right now.
Yeah.
I'm into that space.
Yeah.
So
Well, Bernie, we wish you the best.
Appreciate you.
Good luck with everything. Condolences on your dad, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, guys. You matter.
Thank you. You
Bernie
too. Go
Kosar,
ahead,
the best in the business. Thank you for coming in, Bernie.
Bernie.
We'll see you here soon. Guys, we're going to get to another topic. It's brought to us by FanDuel. The NFL season's here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready to kick off with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You heard me right, guys. $300 to use in bonus bets across the app. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to get started. Place your first $5 bet on America's #1 sportsbook. Bull, the Guards lost to the Kansas City Royals last night. 4-3 was the final score. They have fallen to 3.5 games back in the wild card. And I see the look on your face, and it's not good.
Well,
Look at his face.
I just saw, really, I'm seeing that another Browns player gave the Ravens bulletin board material. I'll get back to that in a second. But the,
Oh, you talking about Grant Delpit?
yeah,
Why would he say that?
I don't
What
understand.
did he say?
He was asked, how hard is it to bring down Derrick Henry? And he replied, quote, not hard.
Oh yeah, they in there.
What are they doing?
They crashing out because of the 30. People on the internet told them they doing the 30th anniversary thing,
Yeah.
and they better come with that energy. But yeah, that's kind of wild. Okay, all right, tell us how you feel. Talk to your DBs, man.
They better back it up. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot of talking for a team that hasn't won a lot of games. But all right, in terms of the Guardians, I've been so down on the Guardians for a while. They'd become a team. They'd become a team that honestly, it was like background watching. I wasn't locked in while watching the games. And then we did the Guardians show yesterday. We talked about it here yesterday, and I was kind of like fired up for these last 18 games. I'm like, okay. So I go to watch the game last night, and I was more locked in than I've been on one of their games in a while, in a couple of weeks. And they give up a run, then they come right back. Manzardo hits his 26th homer. I'd like to see him get to 30. We haven't seen a lot of 30 home run seasons from Guardians.
I'd like to see Arias get 17. But.
Zero chance of that. Nobody on the Guardians has more than 11 home runs, if you can believe that, besides Manzardo and Jose. But so they're up 2-1. The Royals tie it. They go back up 3-2. And then in the 7th inning, that walk to Caglione with one out was because I knew the Royals have this kid. I'm drawing a blank on his name, who they brought in as their pinch runner. He's like one of these super speedy guys. And as soon as they walk Caglione one out there, I'm like, they're going to bring him in. They did. I can't think of his name. But and then he was causing havoc on the bases, and Bo Naylor's throwing the ball around the field, and that led to 2 runs scoring. And then the Guardians and Jose got a 2-out double in the bottom of the 7th, and then that was it. Then the Royals retired the last 7 Guardians batters after that. So with the Rangers and Mariners both winning, 3.5, it may not. It's like it's only a 1-game difference, but there's only 17 games left.
Talk about Tolbert, by the way.
Tolbert, yeah. He's a really good, top of the line base runner. So that was a brutal loss. I mean, you needed to take. You got to win almost every game the rest of the year. I mean, the Mariners are playing well. They've won 4 or 5 in a row. The Rangers, I think, have won 5 or 6 in a row. So you got to pass them both. You can't just pass one of them.
Well,
you got to pass both of them.
You play the Rangers head to head.
Well, but if you're more than 3 games out, that doesn't do you any good.
Yeah.
And right, they're 2 behind Texas at the moment. But
Remember we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like people naturally assume they just put the standings up like that, but then you got other guys that's in them.
Right, they're only a half up on Kansas City,
right.
So you're going to have to go at least 12-5, and even that might not be enough. 12 wins gets you to 86. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be enough. So you might have to go 13-4. You might have to go 14-3. So they're playing the White Sox starting. No. They got one more with the Royals tonight, and then they play the White Sox. I feel like they got to win them all.
Yeah.
Like,
I kind of think you're right.
You got to win
Their
almost
margin
every
of
game
error
the rest
now
of the season.
is razor thin.
Is it the White Sox, the Twins, then the Rangers?
No, they got 7 games with the Tigers also.
Yeah, they
Or 6 with the Tigers.
Royals, White Sox. I mean, it's the whole division. They're playing the division.
Right, Royals, White Sox, Tigers, Twins, then Tigers,
they got
then
the,
Rangers.
Oh, they got the. Why? You said why you? I didn't know the Tigers. They just appeared on the schedule. No, they're not sweeping them.
It's over with.
Well, I'm saying because the Tigers games. Listen, the Twins stink.
Okay.
The White Sox are actually a better team than the Twins right now. But like, you got to win the 4 against Kansas City and Chicago. You got to sweep Minnesota. This way, you can afford to lose a game or 2 against the Tigers, and then you got to sweep Texas. I think you got to win almost. Listen, they put themselves in a tough spot.
That's ridiculous.
rough.
You know, you got. I mean, at the worst is 12-5. That's winning more than 2/3 of your games.
That loss.
That's the worst.
The Kansas City game lost. It hurt.
Especially because you had a 3-2 lead in the 7th. You got to lock that one down, and they were unable to do it. So, what are you going to do? And then, you know, I just read you guys said it was no big deal. Zach agreed with you on the Jerry Jeudy thing, but I don't know. Trash talking Derrick Henry, I don't think that's a smart move.
I got to hear the whole quote. I got to hear the whole thing.
I guess we'll have it tomorrow, maybe.
We'll have it tomorrow. I mean, listen, when I saw the quote this morning from Daniel, he just tweeted out what Jerry Jeudy said.
Yeah.
He said no challenge. And that was the whole quote. There was no extra context to it. My gut tells me, Tyvis, and I'm just guessing, this is a guess, that they were asked, how hard is it to tackle Derrick Henry? And he said, not hard. And then he went on to the next question. I'm assuming there's no extra context.
I mean, that's just.
But we'll find out tomorrow.
I mean, good luck. How much does Derrick Henry outweigh Grant Delpit?
I got to hear.
By a whole lot.
I need to hear.
I mean, he probably close around 240. Grant Delpit can't be, 210?
What do you think Grant Delpit
Do we want to
is?
go off this do you believe Pro Football Reference?
Well, we'll take what we can get.
Derrick Henry is 252 pounds, according to Pro Football Reference. Grant Delpit is 208, so 40 pounds.
44 pounds. All right, you just heard it, Tyvis. You just heard it. What? Tell us what you think.
I mean, he's smiling while he says it.
Can you text? Can we text that to you? Can you put it in?
This is off the Browns Twitter page.
If there's a tweet of it, I can put it in.
Yeah, it's the Browns tweeted it out.
All right, so send it. How do you want him to send it to you?
I got it.
Oh, you got Mike's got it.
He can put it by his microphone.
I feel like we got to watch this. I just feel like I want to see his expression. Like,
It's not.
but you know what, Tyvis? Derrick Henry's not going to care about the nuance.
Not hard. I mean, going back to that, we saw it last year. You obviously were afraid in that first matchup to take him on. Yeah. So where does that come from? Is that a mindset?
I mean, we're playing football, man. It's tackle football. Somebody got the ball, you got to bring them down.
All right.
Terrible.
All right, we'll have this in 1 second. It's loading
But when
into the
you
system
like
right now.
again, if you're going to get motivated by something like if John Harbaugh posts that in the locker room, he's not going to say, "Well, he didn't really mean it that way." Or whatever.
No, I mean,
And
I got
maybe it
the
doesn't
clip, Paul. You
matter. I
ready?
don't know.
Derrick Henry's definitely gonna run it hard.
You said before the Jeudy thing didn't matter, but you said in some cases it does. Is this different?
if I'm Derrick Henry, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but Derrick Henry plays hard every game.
I mean, Derrick Henry.
I think Derrick Henry.
You want to stick it to Grant Delpit.
Yeah, he's gonna make it his mission. To,
yes,
when they
right?
see each other to go and.
So you don't like these comments?
I don't care.
I mean,
All right, here's the
back
full
it
As
up.
long as you back it up.
Back it up.
We'll play this at 54. We got to get the super chats. This is Grant
Yeah.
Delpit with the questions. And take it full.
Hard is he to bring down?
Not hard.
Graham, I mean, going back to that, we saw it last year.
If that wasn't a not hard, like I'm being sarcastic, of course it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry put people on white tees, long T-shirts. He put people. It'd be flowers on people's blocks. You know what I'm saying? Right around the little goal.
Grant Delpit, he better be ready.
That's what I.
You better come
if
and bring
you
it.
gonna say that, just make sure when it.
But
you better bring it.
Get your ones.
And we didn't really talk about it, but I like the fact that at least it ain't what was me.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
I got zero problem with this as long as he backs it up.
I agree.
You back it up, good for you. Let's go. Go ahead, Mike.
Talk the talk, walk the walk. Super chats now. Rebecca Funk says, I love this show. Miles is having hip surgery. Carson and Harold are the next Matthews and Newsom. Flacco's going to the Super Bowl. Dylan and Shador are alternating starts each week. I wonder what today will bring.
Hey, man, that's good entertainment.
Good
dog.
something.
Yeah, that's right.
James Mace Jr. says Jair Alexander is washed. Vernell Jackson says, y'all be scared. Ravens defense is not good. Josh Allen had damn near 400 yards passing. Stop propping up every opponent.
Number one, don't embarrass yourself by judging a team based on one game. Number two, Joe Flacco is
not
nowhere
Josh
close to Josh Allen.
Nowhere
close.
And number three, you gotta if you can't respect Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, what do you
Stop
respect?
playing that. It's picking up.
Tyvis, what are you doing?
That was an accident.
You always, I don't understand, like, this always confuses me when fans disrespect good opponents, especially when you're a fan of a team that's been bad. I don't understand
they're
that.
good.
I get it that you hate the Bengals and you hate the Ravens and you hate the
They're
Steelers.
pretty good.
I get it, but, like, disrespecting your opponent is stupid, in my opinion.
Respect them.
Yeah.
But I don't.
You don't have to cower to
Yeah,
them.
like,
you don't have to bow to them.
The Browns' Twitter is on. They reposted this also after they put that. They quote tweeted it with that. So.
Ty, we can't see it. It's okay. Don't worry.
Of Delpit, what, sacking?
No, he hitting Derrick Henry.
That is okay. I don't think this is very smart.
Maybe
but
they leaning into it.
Okay,
we'll
go
see.
ahead, Mike.
Next super chat comes from the Hot Sauce. Baltimore last year, 31st worst pass defense, 244 yards allowed per game, 251 allowed in the fourth quarter alone in week 1. Jeudy was right, no challenge.
It's misleading, those stats, but you have to dive into it more. Part of the reason the Ravens gave up so many passing yards, first of all, Joe Burrow in 2 games put up ridiculous
they were
numbers.
also up a ton.
What's that?
They were up a ton in a lot of games. And teams
Well, not in the games with the Bengals. In fact, the Bengals.
I'm just saying. Last reason they
but
gave
2
a ton
reasons.
of passing yards.
Yes, the other reason is what you said. They're up a lot. Teams have to throw.
Right.
Next one, James Mace Jr. Bull.
Man, the way people are responding, you think the Browns are like 3-time Super Bowl champs here.
They cocky this week.
I mean, some of our fans have decided that one game this year is worth more than a long track record of Baltimore. Okay, you keep telling yourself Baltimore sucks. They go to the playoffs every year.
James Mace Jr. says, Bull, have you had any good pizza lately? Where at?
Nah. He like, nah.
The answer is no. The answer is no. It's
Well,
okay.
I'll tell you, not traditionally, but I did have a little Chicago-style pizza at Danny Boy's last night, which I enjoy.
There you go.
Not my typical type of pizza, but I do enjoy. Danny Boy's is kind of my, like when I'm just looking for something,
Looking for something quick.
Yeah, it's a good place. They got solid food there.
Salvatore the 216 wants to know if we could have a discussion on overtime dedicated to discussing if it would hurt or help the game of football to get rid of kickers entirely. Salvatore,
I just talked about that
we
the other
talked
day.
about that.
We'll do it today. We'll dive
right.
back into that conversation.
Yeah.
Kirk Davis says, how do you think Sampson will do against the Ravens?
I mean,
I'm not expecting.
Here, better or worse than week 1?
Zac Jackson, I would say whether it depends on Judkins plays or not. Zach says he doesn't think he's going to play. If Judkins does not play, I think Sampson will be better when Judkins is there with him.
Yes,
I agree.
Yes,
I agree.
Right? So, but I think I would expect Sampson to again
Solid
have a
game,
bunch
yeah.
of catches.
yes.
Right?
Catch
Yeah.
catch
I don't see him rushing no more than 35 yards.
Right.
All right,
I
next
agree.
super chat
Yeah.
from Triz. He says, McNuggets, you messed up my fantasy question yesterday, so let me try again.
All right.
If I
Okay.
did, Triz, my bad. Triz says, you have 2 flex spots, and here are the options. Tet McMillan, Keyshawn Boutte, Hollywood Brown, JCM, who's the running back on Washington,
No.
Samson, Tucker Kraft, and Calvin Austin. Which 2 would you start?
I'm going Samson and Hollywood.
No, Tet McMillan has to start.
No.
I forgot Tet McMillan.
Yeah,
Tet McMillan and Hollywood.
I would start Tet McMillan and the back on Washington.
Hollywood had some yards that first game. He had
Tet
25, 26
Yeah, but he's
fantasy
not
points.
reliable. You just mentioned
who
it.
they
Their
playing?
Ravens guys are up and down.
Yeah, they are.
Who the Chiefs playing?
Eagles.
Oh, I'm starting Ted McMillan. Who they playing?
It doesn't matter, but you're
Well,
starting
Ted
him no matter
McMillan's
what.
not on the Chiefs. What are you talking about?
No.
He was
I'm
talking about
saying,
Hollywood Brown.
I know Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood
yeah.
Brown. Yeah.
Coco Rex says, outside of Northeast Ohio, the Browns quarterback jersey has 20-plus names on it, but for me, it only has one, number 19, Bernie Kosar. We love you, Bernie.
We love Bernie.
Trish said on Yahoo, there's a story that said maybe the Dolphins or 49ers would trade for Shador. What price would you give up for Shador right now?
First round, nothing less.
First round in the auto market.
I'm not trading him because nobody would give up more than a 7th, and I wouldn't do that.
And by the way, that is a clickbait article.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You should have brought that article should have came during the summer.
Nobody's trading. Nobody's interested in
Do
trading
we
for
see?
him right
Kirk
now.
Davis wants to know: do we see any of the rookies this game?
No.
What we talking about?
mean,
Rookie
quarterbacks?
Quarterbacks. Excuse me.
I
Yeah.
think
mean,
we're gonna get blown
Only
out.
if Flacco gets hurt.
Somebody get hurt.
Yeah.
That's which I'm not.
He
If
must
Flacco gets hurt, Dylan Gabriel will play.
This
If
ain't-
not, he's
this
not
ain't-
going to.
This ain't college. They're
They're not going to bring him in if it's a blowout.
They are never rotating.
No.
Last two super chats. Ahmed Fadula says, Oyafusi is a solid journalist, but being from Baltimore, he probably loves giving the Ravens bulletin board material. Two more, actually. The Hot Saucer says, do we think Tyreek Hill gets traded?
They need to
No,
blow
I
up
doubt
their
it.
franchise.
I don't know Daniel personally, but I think he's done a very
He's a good dude.
good job
he's
as a reporter since coming here.
He's right down the middle. He don't
And
even talk to nobody
he's
like
not
that.
looking to give the Ravens bulletin board
He don't care
material.
nothing about that.
And Mary Kay was the one that tweeted out the second clip, not Daniel, or at least that I saw.
And last one, and then we're heading to overtime. The Hot Saucer says, it's a rough week for America with everything going on. Just pray for the USA. You all right?
Flags up, man.
All right.
All right, we'll see you in overtime in 2.5 minutes.
Peace.
Peace.